Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When it comes to the World Center of Racing, there are many words that can describe the action that happens here. But if you want to be able to succeed for a race that lasts 500 miles, you better have the determination, the focus, the luck, and the strategy to get the job done. The Mystic Racing League is happy to have you with us here on V-Speed tonight as the Slim Chickens NASCAR Cup Series, powered by Tier1SetupShop.com, kicks off its season with a 500-miler, the Mystic 500, and it's here tonight from iRacing's virtual Daytona International Speedway. Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Prince, alongside Ms. Morgan Cook for tonight. Dougie Beard is our camera producer for this evening's festivities. 40 drivers ready to roll. And in turn tonight, Morgan, the fight is on. $250 goes to the winner tonight, and these drivers look to start off their seasons with a bang. Let's go directly into your starting grid tonight as Curtis White already picked up a $25 payday, brought to you by M&S Welding and Repair. Welding Repair, should say, with Caswell Glass Company providing $10 to Luke Barnes, a part of the qualifying order. Then you take into consideration the duels. Alex Pollock won in Duel 1, Thomas Herzog won Duel 2, to be able to set up row number 2. Row 3 features Chris Hood and Derek Jewett in the top 3 rows. Sam Hers will start in 7th. Michael Wade is in 8th. And rounding at your top 10 tonight, Morgan, veteran Adam Holston and Clayton Good starts in the 10th spot of the 91.
Absolutely. Brad Nelson will roll off in 11th here. Joshua Gillen to his outside in 12th. Zachary King, 13th, last night's winner in the Caswell Glass National Series. Brett Rinn starts in 14th spot. 15th, McCoy Benke and Gavin Hinson will start in 16th position. Caleb Hunt in 17th. 18th will be John Ullman. 19th will Peyton Craig. And 20th, Reggie Kahn.
21st goes to Isaac Wilson with Zach Davidson 22nd. And it's Isaac Brock and Devin Curl who will start on the next tab over those drivers, 23rd, 24th. 25th position goes the way of Harold Taco III with Zach White in 26th spot. Aaron Baum will start 27th. 28th goes to Justin Miller. He just now got in the session, however. We'll see if he makes it through. Jared Opsnyder and Lauren Vincent, your top 30, Morgan.
31st with Rayshawn Winkfield, Charles Robertson 32nd, Christian Barnes in 33rd, Michael Cole 34th, Jacob Cochran in the 35th spot, Daytona Cross 36th, then Dylan Brumley and David Wallace. The final car on your grid is Cameron Romano.
So one driver did miss the start. Drivers were given 10 minutes to get in the session, get their cars ready, and get themselves fired up to your starting grid. Unfortunately, one has missed the final bell to be able to be a part of the start of the season. But let's talk about your analysis and keys here. We're at Daytona, Morgan. And the big thing about tonight, first things first, 200 laps, 500 miles is the better way to phrase it. But we do have stages of 65, 130, and the checkered.
Absolutely right. Pit road speed 55 miles an hour. We have seen drivers speed all week long, whether it was the duels, whether it was the truck series, or the national series last night. There were always speeders on pit road. It's very easy to lock them up into the pit entry. You'll have 8 tire sets available. That should not be a factor. I was able to run the entire race last night on the same set of tires I started with, so tires not wearing out here at Daytona. Unlimited green white checker attempts, that is 15 of them available for us, just in case we need them. And of course, setups provided by Tier1setupshop.com. Same ones we've been on since qualifying, so drivers should be used to them by now.
This week as well, we will have the choose cone that will factor in for the restarts throughout the night. That'll be utilized by the middle seam on all restarts. As well as these drivers take themselves to the 1 to green. One thing we did receive confirmation, Joey Beam was the driver who did not make the start. They were set to start in 14th. They had been in the session for the Discord side, but not in the session for iRacing. As well, we will have at least Justin Miller start in pit road in one of the Shady Acres machines as they miss the grid procedure. Final keys to victory here, Morgan, as we get ready to go racing for 500 miles.
I'll avoid the big one. That's the obvious one. This is a very, very long race. There's no faster pairs available either. If you get in trouble, you have to limp that thing home the rest of the way. So try and avoid accidents, avoid trouble as absolutely much as possible.
Let's talk about winners here. It was mentioned during the day today. Of course, Brett Wren, defending winner, did so by 4 1,000ths last season. That was over Zachary King. Reggie Kime is a 3-time winner of the Mystic 500, dating back to the console days of this series' history, while Michael Wade won 2 of them back in 2022 and 23. But there are so many drivers that can have a shot tonight to be able to win $250 and start this season off right. Who's going to get it done? We're about to find out. We're happy with us here tonight here on V-Speed. The Mystic Racing League set to go for the Slim Chickens NASCAR Cup Series powered by Tier1setupshop.com. The field ready to begin a new season. The outlaw Curtis White set to control the inside. Luke Barnes on the outside. Green flag is out. We're underway from Daytona. Gotta love the engine sounds as we make our way down the front straightaway. White leads the inside. In fact, a majority of the field, this shouldn't be a surprise. This was a commonality last year on Mystic. Drivers trying to find a hole to the inside line and get some spaces that way. And make sure they keep it clean until those pit stops, Morgan.
Yeah, not even just last year, but all week. The duels, both of them, we had drivers file into the bottom lane and just ride for a large portion of those races. We had green flag stops to start both of them. I expect more of the same here tonight.
Most of the field has kept it clean, obviously, on the first lap. The only drivers with a bit of damage, really, would be Peyton Craig, who ended up picking up damage, actually, during the pace laps. Everybody else seems to have clean front ends, clean back ends so far. But for some of these drivers on the outside, Caleb Hunt, for example, being left out to dry. Zach White, no place to go. Lauren Vincent, who started up towards the front, already dropping like a stone as well as a result of the lane shuffles. Caleb Hunt looking for some clean breaks here. He had okay speed last year, just didn't have any luck last year in the 78 car. Now he drives the 19.
Absolutely. He's kind of had that same situation all weekend. He's had speed in every race, but doesn't have a whole lot to show for it, both in trucks and the National Series, hoping to turn it around here in the big show, the Mystic 500.
It's going to take a lot of composure for some of the drivers. We did have a couple lose the draft already. You know the saying of go underneath the apron and let drivers go? We had a couple drivers have that already. Aaron Baum, he's got him going. But we also just had this car. Devin Curl give up the draft. Curl went on the apron, tried to suck up to the back end. The problem is, Morgan, as we know, and there were some updates to the package a little bit, as alluded to by some in some of the various super speedway coverage, in FLCC coverage on our networks. You better hold on to the back of the field. You lose the draft within half a second to a second, and that's what happened to Curl.
Absolutely. It feels like we're on ESPN 8, the Ocho, because that's a bold move, Cotton, and I don't know if it's going to pay off losing the draft this early in the show. I understand, as you're saying, dropping to the back of the field, but you better have a car behind you when you slide back in line, or else you're going to end up just like Devin Curl in the situation.
It's the importance of choosing the important lines here. Justin Miller also just now entered the race. So Miller is already multiple laps down and will be hoping for some caution flags to contend in this race. But as the conga line works its way around the bottom, it's about where you started essentially that's going to be critical. It's not as simple as you would expect for some of these drivers to find friends. Miller not going to hold on to the draft here because they're too slow. Some of the others here are just trying to make their beds as they may here, you'd have to say, Morgan, because for now, no one wants to give up the track position in the choo-choo train.
Yeah, the longer this stays single file on the bottom, the more imperative it is for these four on the high side to find a hole in line, or they risk losing the pack altogether. Even with four cars, you have 4 versus 35 or so. That is not a battle you're probably going to win. There, Davidson's able to get down to the bottom. Now there's 3 left on the top. Can they find a way to get down to the bottom, or will they lose the draft just like the 95 and the 15?
Romano was the last driver in the show, by the way, Morgan, and remember, he did so initially, we thought, by drag race standards, but we had several drivers miss that were charter cars in the midst of the duels, as in they didn't take part in the duels, which opened up more open spots. Romano ended up with all the calculations of the open drivers getting the final slot. His 98 machine looked mightily stout last time out with the duels a couple of days ago. He's going to be interesting to watch for, to have to charge from the shotgun position of 40th, and he seems to be one of the few willing to test the outside.
Absolutely. And something we didn't do in the duels, let's do a little bit of a special treat here. How about driver cams? We'll start with the driver we're talking about here, Mr. Romano himself. See what this car is able to do.
Yeah, definitely going to be happy to be in the show here. You can see going the NASCAR look. Believe that is possibly a Kurt Busch driver suit, or at least driver shirt. So taking the Kurt Busch look, and I think he knows he's on camera. He's got a smile on his face.
That is a Kurt Busch one. Good call on that. See the Ganassi logo back when he was in the one machine. But yeah, Romano running 28th right now, already up 11 positions from the start. The 98's looking pretty quick today.
About picking the right lines if you want to be able to advance forward, and he's amongst those doing well here with those choices from the tail end. Here's one concern for some of the drivers. The lead group looks okay. Breeze, did I say group? Zachary King is losing touch to the leaders. In fact, so is McCoy Banky, who is one of the drivers working with a small contingency of independent competitors. Right now, that 05 is just barely holding on to King's draft in the first place here.
Yeah, I think Peyton Craig was the issue in that line. Remember, he had the damage you mentioned. He popped out of line, and it kind of killed the entire back half of this field. But if there's one driver who can really get back up there, I think it is McCoy Banky. He ran very well last night in the National Series, and looks like he's already got that toe he needs from King. Should be back up there in a matter of moments.
Looks like he will be, although King's dropping back. There's Reggie Kime, though. He was one of the drivers that had a lot of hype coming in because on the console side, he was one of the best drivers in the series. Of course, the challenges come with the sim, contended on the super speedways, though. Keep an eye on the 9 machine tonight as we look up towards the front. Now reaching lap traffic and starting to see a second line form. That includes Jewett trying to drop back with Michael Wade.
I think they were trying to go forward initially. They had a run for a moment, and then all of a sudden it just died out, as these cars tend to do. Jewett might be trying to fall to the back here. Looking almost 3 wide with Wade.
Oh, now 3 wide with lap car. Well, I say that. They just picked up the lap car.
Well, they are teammates. The 2
Good
is
point.
a teammate to the 45, so that definitely could be what they were trying to do. I don't think Wade wanted any part of that, though. He dropped down immediately.
So that explains that part. And here's the big thing. That is your lucky dog car for Aaron Bohm. So there is a benefit to Jewett working with the 2 machine, his teammate obviously. Quite simply, he can make sure to help him in the pack and try and get in front of Devin Coral, who would be the only other driver not in a pack. Well, he just ditched him anyway.
Decided that the 2 didn't quite have enough power to make that work, wasn't willing to give up his own situation for that one, so yeah, the 2's going to have a hard road ahead to be able to get back into this one.
Not too many people willing to use that outside, obviously, except for a couple at the tail end. But right now, Hard Dog, one of the top drivers in the duels. Up here, you also have for the next Hinson. Expecting Hinson to be competitive. Last year was a part-timer in the Cup Series in the 39 camp. But every time he ran, contended in those crown jewel races. In fact, won one of those races. Hinson should be another driver you should be definitely watching for this weekend because he's a smart competitor that's faster than a lot of the Cup regulars.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And again, another driver who has ran exceedingly well all weekend long. I'm going to continue to say that. We've been a part of all 3 races here this weekend, and Hinson has performed well in all of them, especially that truck race on Friday. He put a whale of a show. As we're wrecking, Nelson's in the wall.
Brad Nelson is demolished. No caution likely here, but the wheel is demolished on the 33. Wade tried to tuck in behind the 33, and it did not line up.
Yeah, it's killed. That thing is done for the day. Quick
Race
replay.
Control. Yeah, Race Control did say they were going to throw cautions if there were multiple cars involved. They aren't going to, I believe, for something this small, but this is definitely not a small hit.
No, that was a big hit to the right front. Of course, if the wheel's not turning, that's a bad sign. It's more than just a toe link.
Yeah, that entire thing's demolished, and the big thing is no fast repairs this season for the Mystic 500. So if you wreck, you're going to be out. So that, we'll see Wade drop to the back of the field, by the way. That's why good judgment is required in terms of your lane choices, how your pushes are. People in full-length races yesterday mentioned that with this car now, it's even more sensitive to pushes in the first place. Right. You have to be on center.
Especially because most of the cars in this race are Chevys, and Chevys have that pointed nose. It's not easy to push on it straight as well. The back bumpers have a bit of a curve to them, so you got to hit that person dead center. If you catch someone left or somebody right, you'll spin them into the outside wall, just like what we saw.
Indeed here, as they continue to zip through amongst this pack. we'll have to keep an eye on how everybody fares out with us 15 laps in this time through. Up at the front, by the way, Curtis White has led all the laps so far. He's had no issues. Pollock on the bumper, Chris Hood, Sam Hurst also in the pack. So far, the Outlaw hasn't led up a bit, and he's been carrying a decent amount of speed. They are reaching lap traffic, though, and lap traffic is choosing the bottom. Devin Curl is hoping the pack swallows him up.
It looks like it will. He's got a great spot to slide in right there. That couldn't have really worked out much better for the 15.
And that is going to be, oh man, that's a tight squeeze. Hartzog. Curl actually just about went under the yellow line because he felt so crowded for a split second. But he is going to hold on to the lucky dog spot as a result. Hartzog nearly spins Luke Barnes out trying to get back in line. That was a little bit of a sketchy moment.
Absolutely, but now all the craziness is sorted out, 15 finds himself 36th in the standings, but running, P6 on the racetrack, something like that. So he's in a good spot here to get that lucky dog should we get a caution before the stage. We're getting racy back in the field.
Yeah, some of the drivers, at the very least, are trying to get back to the front, or at least go from back to front. But the problem is, first of all, no one wants to do that. Michael Cole is the first one out with the high side with Dylan Brumley. But second here, when it comes to this, Morgan, yeah, the further up you are, the better chances. Oh boy, that was some trouble. What was going on there with Michael Wade?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the 5. Struggling right now. Quick replay.
I think one of the WFR cars, Christian Barnes got in the back end on a checkup with the 35.
And this is just a lap ago. You can see the big checkup on the bottom. Yeah, they're playing bumper tag in a big way. And yeah, just a checkup happened further up. That's the problem with running everyone on the same line. Is it's very easy to get checked up and have to lift. And Peyton Craig threw a big old block on the 27 there. I'm sure they're not terribly pleased on the high side.
Yeah, he tried a bullet play. He's already got a demolished front nose, too, a part of the damage. So this is going to be a little bit of a de-incentivizer from the series champion. Barnes likes to go back in the line, and that outside died off quickly with that one little block. So, again, for those just tuning in, we're coming up to lap 20 for the field. Next time through. Right now, everybody in the Mystic 500 still in, except for Brad Nelson. Everybody else still running. We have 34 in the main pack. Zach White was the last driver to lose touch with the draft. Everybody else has remained in tow. And unfortunate for White, he was up towards the front early on, but as we've seen, was one of those sandbags from the outside.
Yeah, just could not find a spot down in line quick enough, and it cost him dearly.
The back machine. Have to hope for a caution flag here. But I was about to say with this outside line here, the further up you are, the more likely to see, because the side draft effect, Morgan, you're seeing it right there. They're just stuck dead even for the most part. A little bit of ping pong again on the inside, though. Hold on. That was the 00 Daytona Cross getting a little bit of bumper cars.
I think this is the best the outside has looked in pretty much the entire race. We have Jewett leading it, got Wingfield right behind him. Those two drivers can definitely work together on the super speedway and push each other and lead well and all of that. Top 4 in line are nose to tail. That will be good considering how spread apart the bottom lane is. Trying to get around, is that Kime? I believe on the bottom. No, that's Isaac Wilson, I think. Isaac Wilson. That 93 car. They can get around him. They have a big gap. Maybe just slide in there and regroup.
Gotta hurry quickly. They're about just in the draft, still on the inside at least. That side draft can pull them back.
The most difficult part about running the high side I've found is the top 2 drivers and third place as well have to be on exactly the same page of when you're making the run to the front and when you're planning to fall back, because the second car can't push the whole time. There's engine temperatures to consider. You have to back off every now and then to keep the motor from blowing. So you have to understand as the lead car how far you guys are going to go and then drop down to capitalize and then come back up once you get all sorted out again. It's a complicated art to sort out, but if you can do it well, you can be extremely difficult to beat here.
My concern is at the head of this, you're not seeing the third driver in line be the pusher to carry the momentum like you normally see in the Top Run series and in a lot of the top super speedway SOFs. Christian Barnes is not willing to give the push, and Renshaw Wingfield's not willing to push Zachary King either. So some of these drivers being very cautious here. Now there's the push, Barnes, that we're talking about. 4-5 car push. They are stacking up because Miller, a lap car, is trying to hold on the high side.
Yeah, Miller jumping up to the high side just annihilated the outside lane. Now they're 3 wide because they can't get away from him fast enough. Still 3 wide here. King stuck in the middle. Miller on the top side. Barnes trying to push the 51 through the hole. It's not quite working. Now Miller drops off just far enough. Yeah, that was sketchy for a minute. And we saw that earlier with Peyton Craig when a slower car jumps up in line to try and block the run. It just kills the entire outside lane.
Yeah, King is right now 186 miles an hour. Yeah, was just trying to get out into the line. And now all the main players on the outside line have pulled out and, as you said, reset the run, try again later. Although Davidson is the first one now stuck to the outside, who is forced to try something. And Davidson had track position in the heat, Jewell should say, and now is looking for it back. Wingfield, though, has Derek Jewett in. They were communicating on the radio, trying to sort out what's going on behind them in the first place. Looks like Wingfield wants to be the lead car now. Jewett way up the track for a moment.
You hear just how rough it is, this car hitting the racetrack. Really have it optimized for that straight line speed. As low to the ground as it can be to try and get the optimal amount of air underneath the car. Bit of a rough ride for the drivers.
Looks like they don't like while the line is forming. They elected to, on the radio, audibly say, get in line, let's try this again. And so we'll reset. Coming up to lap 25 this time through. Fuel runs expected to go about 40 as we've seen through the dual races. So we're getting close to that mark. Remember, this stage going to lap 65. So technically you can make the distance in about a lap or two, but won't likely see much of the field run it dry or split it up the middle.
At this point, I don't think it really matters all that much which group you're in, as long as you're in a group. There's no end goal here. I mean, stage points are great and all, but there's a lot of open cars in this race as well. Also, this is the Mystic 500. Stage points don't matter all that much. Save that for next week at Phoenix. I want to win the race. So I'm just trying to survive, stay in a group when you pit, and don't make any mistakes on pit road.
Yeah, that's an important thing to think about. We haven't talked about the schedule too much yet. With it, it falls loosely, the NASCAR Cup Series schedule that they have in real life. But you have differences like Chicagoland's a February date, for example. North Wilkesboro's early in March. You have Eldora that's going to be a part of that schedule. They have a race at Kentucky. Five Flags has some racing action schedule. You have a race in Montreal set on up. You also throw into the mix late in the season. Drivers are going to be having a big scramble of tracks like California on it. Hold on 1 second. That thought gets paused because White was in the wall trying to move out of the way as a lap car.
Zach White is not having a great start to this one. Goes a lap down for losing the draft, and he is about to get probably left behind by this inside lane. He's got no help out there.
Yeah, you don't make too many friends by scraping the wall down, don't you? But the point was being made here with the schedule. You have to be on your toes with the schedule and know how to drive the tracks. It's not as simple as follow the official series schedule and go from there. You better know how to drive different tracks with little to no preparation time in some of the circumstances. You better know how to maximize your practice time.
Yeah, right about that. Look at the outside lane. It has finally come to life. It took the better part of 10 laps. But here they are up to the top 5. Zachary King leading the way. He won last night. He knows how to get it done on super speedways. Taking the opportunity to show everyone he knows what he's doing.
He almost won last year, too. He was the driver who lost in the drag race, remember, at Daytona to Brett Wren. This time through, looking to try and battle it out amongst the top 5. He's been in the mid to backpack, trying to get some lines working all race so far. Now has finally got things in sync. That was a little bit of a push-up by Chris Hood.
Hood might have bobbled a little bit, caught the apron potentially, just about had our first big moment of the race. But we continue on here in the Slim Chickens Cup Series, presented by, or powered by, apologies, Tier1 Racing Set, or Tier1SetupShop.com, here for the Mystic 500.
That's the lap 30 this time through. Give credit to some of the newcomers like Sam Hurst up for the front. A lot of the drivers, like the non-charter competitors that are here part-time, are wanting to race for the cash here tonight. They've looked impressive all weekend, like the 6. He's looking significantly solid. He's kept up front this entire race, had the preferred line for the bottom line form-up, and has been just able to maintain his starting spot even with the shuffle attempts behind him. Just as I say that, that's not a time to blink.
Yeah, a bit of a connection issue there, but no harm, no foul. But you're right. I mean, part of racing a super speedway is being in the right place at the right time. And starting on the inside lane here seemed to be the right place to be in. He's made the right decision to not go anywhere else. Just hang out in 4th spot. There's no reason to try and get any farther ahead. No reason to fall back at all. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Pit stops being called over the radio this time through. Watch for a flurry of stops to come on in. Or never mind, Zachary King said, I'm not pitting this time now. Although, some are. That includes Hood.
And Hood, that's it. Oh, that's a lonely feeling. And he spun
and
on
he's
pit
wrecking.
road. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is a lonely, lonely feeling for the 13.
Well, this stage may have just gone bust for the 13. Had to have thought that he was going to get more cars with him with King calling for a stop. But Curtis White responded he was thinking about a pit stop too. So we might see the field this time. Let's watch for it here. Pollock has stayed on the bumper. Remember, Curtis White has burned a lot of fuel in theory by being the lead car the entire way though. So here they come out of 4. And answer is fake out.
No. No pitting this time by.
I think the field at this point is keeping the pit strategy secret. Well, I mean, I believe race rules do require you have to call it out because of incidents, but you know how bad the exit entry was there for the 13? They just got lapped.
Right. Yeah, definitely less than ideal to start the race, but plenty of opportunities to make it back up. They have this whole pit sequence to come. They've already pit, so they're ahead of the game that way. They can latch on to somebody on the backside of this sequence. They might be all right to get back on the lead lap. We're going to find out here shortly. It's going to be tight, though. Oh, now we're pitting. There's some cars. Oh, a lot of cars on pit road here.
White caught it out of the corner, and I think we might have a speeding penalty or two. Pollock was flying.
The 4's around as well.
That's Thomas Hartzog having issues. Nobody got a black flag from the session, although it was close for a lot of cars. Should see the next wave soon. It's Clayton Good who now leads.
Good getting shuffled out of line. Not sure why. Choosing to give up the bottom here. There's your race's biggest mover, Daytona Crossrun in P2 right now. He has gained 34 positions through this sequence.
No responses coming in this time, so they will extend. The others are coming out pit road. You know who took over out of those who just went down the lane, though? Alex Pollock just played this perfectly, because here's the thing. If you follow along with big super speedway races, there's a key, Morgan. You better know how much time it will take to take 4 tires to 2 tires to anything. If you take 2 tires in a full tank, it's about a 1-second save compared to those who take a 4-tire set in pit with fuel.
He was able to be efficient on pit road. As we saw, we almost thought he was speeding. Efficient into the box. The stop was good. Out of the box, he retains a top 2 spot. Oh, driver off the racetrack. That's Curl, I believe, got shoved out of line.
Can't tell if he was shoved out of line or just trying to pit.
Michael Cole's in the box all by himself.
Gonna lose a lot of time with this, though. Lots of time. Gonna be on his own some for now. Pollock, by the way, did not lose a lap, and neither did anyone really in the main pack. This main group is actually 4-6 seconds or so behind those who have tucked down so far. Right now, King pushing the back end of Miller compared to Pollock, who's getting Hurst over the rear end. They also have Charles Robertson up towards the front for the first time. Curtis White second of 4th out of those who have pit so far.
Lead group again decides not to hit pit road here. And the second pack not terribly far behind either, led by Brumley. They're hanging out right around 1.5 seconds back. They're just about close enough to catch the draft.
This is where communication's key, and remember, a lot of these drivers aren't synced up team-wise. It sounds like, based on the communication on the radio here, Morgan, that those who are still in the lead pack might run it out. Brumley, as you can see, is in the second group. That's lost touch of the leaders by 2 seconds. They are quicker than the leaders, though.
Yeah, if they were to run this out, they'd get very close to catching back up to that lead group, as the gap between Romano and Brumley is dropping, even though the gap to the leader is staying about the same. Oh, Brumley got kicked out of line. That killed the entire run. Everything they've done over the last 4 laps is gone now and more. They just lost half a second through the tri-oval.
Tough choice, to say the least, on that one. John Ullman pushing there as we look back at the front at these net leaders, or rather the current leaders. Right now, the communication was up to 10 laps they were trying to go. That's what Miller can do, but remember, Miller started from pit road, hit another time, and fell the laps down. Some of the others, about 5 was the conversation they were having moments ago to the entire field. So they're looking at, looks like, to try and short fuel this, Morgan, save a few seconds in the lane, and hope that they're able to cycle in front of those who pit, who are running 47.3s. Those drivers who have yet to pit, all of them, including the second group, are faster than those who have pit so far.
Yeah, these 2 groups who stayed out are definitely more efficient. So far, it'll be interesting to see how it all cycles out. Again, we're just racing for stage points at this point in time. We're not even close to the end of this race, not even a quarter of the way through it yet. This pit strategy could tell us a lot about what we do later in the race.
Yeah, especially for that last stage where we have an extra few laps, 70 laps, that final stage distance, remember, for competitors to have to manage. Zach Davidson, a little scare there with Wallace and Knopfsnyder. They've also picked up a couple lap cars. Talked about Knopfsnyder needing some luck together. They've also, though, picked up those who didn't get the best of pit sequences, like Hinson, who ended up losing a lot of drafts, for example. It's about where you find the friends here at this point with some of the time lost. Looks like pit calls are coming over the radio, though. A big wave of them coming this time, Morgan.
I think we're going to see a feeding frenzy on pit road. As we roll off of turn 4, sun is starting to set as well. There it is.
And they come.
Well, Michael Wade came in real hot. 91's around in the middle of the pit road. There goes Craig. Oh, big damage for the 21.
Isaac Brock hit Romano, who had one of the first pit stalls for good measure. Also, missed pit stall for the 00 of Cross.
Holston, King, Daytona, or Peyton Craig, and Zach White all got black flags for one reason or another.
Got crossed with a furled black flag, in fact, for their entry. A lot more people coming in this time through to close out this window, likely. But it's going to be interesting where they play out with Brumley still on track. Pollock, for reference, is just now down the front straightaway. There's a look at them. The others pitting are coming out of turn 1 now. There's the wave in turn 4 coming through to the pit entry. There goes,
right in front of Ullman. 3, 4 cars involved. Oh my goodness, that is the worst case scenario. Ullman with a black flag. Peyton Craig still has his to cover. Oh man, and Brumley's car is destroyed.
He just drove into the wall, trying to get into the box with the tight angle also. More drivers also skip through. Oh, by the way, Pollock did cycle to the front. They have already passed those that went further by about a half a second.
Yeah, there's Wade. He led the group off that just pit. He's tucked into the back of this group. They should easily clear the drivers who just hit pit road. Yes, there we go. Not even close to up to speed yet. There's Craig trying to fix his penalty. 92 to the point.
Leaves us now past lap 40. Stage ends, remember, lap 65. And as these packs now sort themselves around the circuit, the stage points. Here's a big key we haven't touched upon yet in the drivers' meeting. Drivers were told this season, Morgan, instead of it just being top 5 for stage points, it's now the top 10. Also, it will follow this season the chase format like we see in real-life NASCAR competition. That means the win later today is a big 55-point payday for the point standings. Although the wins obviously don't count to make the chase, it does help in terms of the points to factor in with 10 stage points and more points for the winner.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this strategy looks like on the league level of the higher points for wins but not locking yourself in. What does that do? Does it still reward the drivers who win many races? Maybe aren't as consistent. Does it reward consistency? It's going to be a really interesting battle throughout the season, and I'm very excited to look forward to it here for the Slim Chickens Cup Series, powered by Tier1SetupShop.com, as we have Pollock leading the race and Michael Cole leading the line, the last car on the lead lap in the 43.
Now will allow these drivers to just save some fuel here for now. Also up there is Hurst, Robertson, White, Gillen is in the top 5. Wilson, Cochran, Barnes, Wade, Barnes are in the top 10. Luke Barnes, Christian Barnes, 8th and 10th respectively. Out of those entered in this pack. Derek Jewett is the last lead car in this main group. So what's the game plan other than, play some music and go from there? What is your approach?
I'm riding. Even if I'm running the full season, I'm a charter driver. I'm not doing anything if I'm in this lead pack besides just riding in line. It's just simply not worth it. With the no fast repairs, with how we've seen pit entry be so far, I would imagine that drivers are going to find themselves in trouble on pit entry. Let's just let it happen. I'm going to worry about going for it in the last 20 laps. I'm not even going to think about hitting go until then. Of the race, not the stage.
But stage points.
Yes, but 36 races.
Good argument, to say the least. It is race 1.
It is. Not even to stage 1 of race 1. And JP's already saying, go, go, go! Gotta get all the points we can!
I mean, at least my thought is you leave points on the table, you regret it later on. It's better to have points in the bank instead of catch up, I guess you can say. But It really depends on how the race comes to you, though, on how that actually approaches itself. Good opportunity to maybe look at a couple cars here, though. Jacob Cochran, he ended up following along with the V-Speed look here for this season.
Yeah, the 88 donning the V-Speed logo on the hood and on the quarter panel of that one. I mean, they say that the logo adds horsepower. I can't confirm if that's the case or not, but he has already gained 28 positions. Second biggest mover of the day. Only driver to gain more spots, Charles Robertson, who is up 29 positions in this one.
Yeah, really did. I don't think talked about him at all during the dual races because I believe just was that quiet. Has the Matt Kenseth look here this evening. Now, is dealing with a little nose damage, but there is a lot of time to be able to fix that on a full service. As well, Sam Hurst is in the same deal with damage. Are you concerned about front nose damage like this, knowing you have time to repair it over the course of the race?
Not terribly. I mean, Hurst has much more significant damage than Robertson does. Robertson's is probably only 10 seconds. Horst's is likely more like 30 seconds. If I'm starting stage 2 and I have a shot to be up at the front, I am just going to take the minimum required repairs. If I'm not at the front of the field, restart in the back, get it all fixed. That would be my plan. But if I'm one of those two cars, just let it ride. Clearly the car's fast enough and you're doing just fine running the top 5 here. Damage isn't hurting you all that bad.
Track position is working really well, to say the least, even with damage. But for now, this lead group is running 47 ones to 47 flats at the tail end of it. Isaac Brock, Clayton Good, and Zach Davidson are the next pack. Those drivers are not gaining. They are 4/10 off the pace. Brock trying as he might here in that green and white machine. It's not closing up in the fearless entry. Rayshawn Winkfield and defending race winner Brett Wren is in the next pack as well. Does that help you when you have a win in your belt like you have with Brett at Daytona? Didn't pick up a win, didn't get the chance to compete in the postseason with attendance, but is looking to at least join the multi-win club that is established by every other winner in the Mystic 500.
I don't know if it helps per se. I mean, it gives you a little bit of confidence saying, I know that I can do this, I've done it before, but I wouldn't say that it helps in any way on the racetrack. I don't think it makes drivers more willing to work with you. If anything, maybe the opposite. Christian Barnes probably not going to get a ton of help here tonight considering he keeps winning everything. But I wouldn't say that it helps on the racetrack per se.
I know it helps with the legacy side of things.
It does.
That
Legacy, it does.
Yes, to be able to build that repertoire and build that trust with the field. But it does, with Daytona, having an inability of chaos that can spring up. Let's take a look here at a camera. You can see very calm for Brett.
Yeah, very calm. Got that Willie B shirt on, another calm driver. There's your 16th place runner right now. Just biding his time. Again, no rush, veteran, just... We got the stage coming here. There's nothing to fight for at this point. Just let it ride, and you'll be there for stage 2. Hello, Brett.
Yes, indeed. Hello, indeed. Obviously doing a really good job in the Ford. Still yet to lead laps, but is running in a okay spot for when we set up for the end of the stage in about 15 laps. There are a couple drivers that are in panic mode, though, you'd have to think. Those drivers are the following: Chris Hood, Thomas Hartzog, Dylan Brumley, Jared Knopfsnyder. The reason to mention those names, they're only 41 seconds behind the leader. That's about 5-6 seconds ahead of the pack, and this is the pack here. And those drivers are running off and on slower than the leaders. They picked it up to even it out a bit.
No, they're at second slower than the leaders.
Yeah, it's up and down on the pace is what I'm trying to say here, Mark.
Right. Yeah, they are not running all that well, especially since I believe Hartzog has massive nose damage. You can see it right there. That left front's not supposed to look like that. That is for certain. Brumley's got damage from, remember, spinning into Ullman. Knopfsnyder's car looks clean, but again, they're not really pushing each other. Inefficient. Wobbling back and forth. This is just not a great pack right now.
Yeah, 47.7s last time through specifically. They are actually potentially going to lose Knopfsnyder here. They built up such a buffer. Zachary King amongst those that just got lapped, in fact, in that air group. Michael Cole, Adam Holston, Devin Curl, John Ullman amongst those. Also either on the fringe of or just got lapped a part of the pack.
Yeah, Cole's in the best spot right now, obviously leading. He's going to have the worst fuel, but I would take a little bit less fuel in the tank over being a lap down. That's for certain. And Pollock is a friendly, as they would say, behind him. They'll not necessarily work together, but they won't work against each other, so that is helpful also. Hurst doesn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. He's an open driver, and I believe Robertson might be as well.
Now let's find out how things get shuffled about. Still riding along for now is the pack. A couple people are on the high side. That includes King. Everybody else, as expected, is in the choo-choo train. Bad news if you're a Nelson fan, by the way, who is waiting to see if he could get damage repair. He just blew up.
Yep.
Nelson's day is done.
It's been 30 minutes on pit road. I don't think it was going to get fixed.
Just thought people wouldn't know about the glass man because the glass man had the glass shatter just now in the motor.
Yeah, he had the glass front end too, and he got nailed into the outside wall.
But in all seriousness, though, for some of these drivers here, could get ugly. We just had a spin on the front straightaway. Hard slam. Luke Barnes is around. Caution flag is out. Michael Wade's in it.
That's a driver I was looking at for later in the race. Luke Barnes, I know he has a lot of speed. But 2 days in a row, going to get caught up in something not of his doing potentially.
Yeah, something went wrong and quickly in the trial, what it looked like. With a, I can't tell if there's a checkup
Big
or
checkup, yeah.
Huge checkup.
And then these cars are just so hard to save. Oh, was that Ullman who got put in the wall again? Let's ride on board. I think we'll get a better shot at it here. Right behind Cochran. You can kind of see it, that car with the white bumper up ahead. That's where it all started. They caught up, and then everyone checked up quickly here. Bang, bang, bang. He gets popped from behind, trying to save it, and boom! Michael Wade, there's Ullman in the fence. Tail as old as Daytona. The checkup on the bottom. Yeah, big damage on Wade. That is not going to help.
And Michael Wade, the winner of the Clash earlier on this year in the lead up to the Mystic 500, not going to be in a good spot to try and get another win in this event. So the race control already telling drivers do not run into each other. If you do, you're going to the back of the field. But it is going to set up a under 10 lap to go restart to determine the stage points. Pollock going to have to play a little bit of defense if he wants to get himself 10 stage points. No playoff points, obviously.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first time we've been doubled up since we went green. Be interesting to see who goes where. Obviously, Hurst and Pollock have worked so well together. Robertson as well. Do those three say, let's stick to the inside line and have maybe Gillen go to the top? I know Barnes is going to go where the shortest line is, no question. Maybe potentially lead the outside if the front four are content on the bottom. And then from there, all bets are off as to what happens behind them. Also, how about JP? 79 people watching along with us at home on the couch. Appreciate every single one of you for tuning into V-Speed here. JP, I'm Morgan, Dougie Beard with the cameras. Pollock fakes him out. Hurst is going to hit pit road here. Lead a few drivers in.
Good time to take the damage repair if that's the choice here.
It is.
Wouldn't be surprised if some of these drivers pitting here are making it simple. Take the stop now and either top off when we get to 65, or they run it dry to the next stop. Although that might be a little bit more tighter to be able to make it to the end of stage 2. There is a bit of flexibility with this call.
I think you're going to have to one-stop it. Well, yeah, you'll have to one-stop it in stage 2 anyway, so
yeah.
If you have damage, now is the best time to get it fixed. You get 2 minutes of free time to repair damage right here. And then you just ride for the entirety of stage 2, avoid any action if there is any, and you end up hopefully inheriting a decent spot to start stage 3 with a clean race car.
Clean race car. You can pick up track position easier with, to say the least. As these drivers pace themselves around. To reset your top 10, Pollock, Robertson, Gillen. Barnes is now in 4th. Wilson, Cochran, Jewett, Brock, Good, Davidson are in your top 10 with those who stayed out on the racetrack. The first pit stops are Curtis White, along with Cameron Romano, Michael Cole, and Jared Knopfsnyder. Those drivers about 15th on back in the order. Damage repairs, you have to start looking to about 20th to David Wallace. But heavy damage repairs, Rayshawn Wingfield in 22nd. Out of those drivers, you see that top 10 interval on the box. Rayshawn Wingfield needed this caution. He was amongst those, remember, that was losing time and fast. And it looks like he's got a clean race car now to be able to try and charge as we come up to the all-important choose cone. Remember, you see this big seam up the middle? Well, you better not have any part of your car at the line on it, or else you go to the tail.
We saw it nab a few drivers last night. We saw it nab a driver in the truck race as well. So far, so good. Everyone making it very obvious to race control where they want to choose. New this year, every driver in the field gets to choose unless you are under penalty for this caution, which no driver is. So everyone able to choose where they want to start.
Not too many variances I noticed there, though, compared to the starting spots, to say the least. Choose is good. So the field, for the most part, happy with where they are position-wise, although a few did choose to just start on the bottom, sacrifice a couple spots here.
Yeah, the bottom's definitely the safe way. While it might not win you the stage, per se, if you're a little further back, you're likely not going to lose a ton of positions because you have the double yellow line to your left side. You can't get past below that. It acts as as kind of a buffer. As well, if there's an accident in front of you, you have a place to bail, which is below that double yellow line. A little bit of a safety valve involved in that decision.
So drivers are getting fully sorted. So we come up to what is going to be about a 7-lap dash to determine this stage and who gets the first stage points of the season. We don't get a caution-free stage to begin the season, but we do get ready for some intense battling in said stage.
We saw green flag pit stops too. That is a great way to start the season. Green flag pit stops at Daytona. That's how you know things are looking good here this year.
So here we go. All set to battle. Coming up to start lap 68, lap 58 should say. Numbers are hard. You know what also goes hard? Engines! They're fired away. We're back underway. And Robertson goes straight to the bottom. In fact, a lot of drivers trying to immediately jockey to the bottom yet again. Everyone wants safety.
Bottom side already 5 cars strong. Isaac Brock trying to lead the way on the high side. It's not working so far. It'll take about another half a lap for that car to get wound up there as they are really sideways in the back.
All of them trying to figure out, can they get some drafting partners? Look who's getting it to work a bit on the high side, though. Barnes, he jumped up alongside for third. Now
Daytona crosses around in front of the field. The whole field's in it.
Caution flag is out on the speedway, and it's a big one.
Parking lot on the start of pit road.
All sorts of chaos. We have cars backing up into each other. Luke Barnes just hit Michael Wade again. And we have calamity on the second caution of the Mystic 500.
Yeah, Cross just got a bump he wasn't expecting. And then a few others just don't know where the pedal is to slow the car down. Filed it off in there and caused a lot more damage than it was worth. trying to find who it was where it was the 07 was in it as well, but there's a car right in front of Daytona. Oh, it was the 66 is kind of where the rest of the crash started. He went up to avoid it and tagged the 98. And a few others piled in later. Let's ride on board with 66 here.
Yeah, this was chaos. Chris Hood said he was looking to buy a pair of brown pants after this run, too.
Yeah, I'd say so. So there's Daytona getting out of shape. Did a good job to avoid the 00, but unfortunately couldn't avoid the rest of it. That's Hinson with a very damaged car. Let's look at the 04, see what he saw.
Well, I think you ought to stay for this for a bit longer, Morgan, because like I said, he backed up into somebody trying to turn around the car.
And there's Daytona getting his spin. Goes down to avoid it. Oh, Wallace just nailed that guy. See that? Oh, very back of the frame.
And
I just parked in the middle of the racetrack, and I think he's going to get Michael Wade right there. Boom. John Ullman, for the third time tonight, caught up in something that was really not his fault. The title sponsor car, the Slim Chickens car, not having a great day.
well, on that note, under 5 laps to go when we get back going in the stage. Remember, stage N is lap 65. And there's a laundry list of names down the pit road getting service. Curtis White, Luke Barnes, once again Hurst, Wade. You have Banky, you have Hinson, Ullman, Wallace, Romano, King just went down. Pure calamity. This Will's mix-up strategy again for a couple of the cars. But this also sees lengthy repairs for many more.
Yeah, 9 on pit road.
Yeah, at least 6 of them were in this wreck that are down here on pit road.
Yeah, this is the kind of accident that changes the course of the entire race. I mean, some drivers who we expected to be contenders, like the 66, going to be struggling with damage. Yeah, that car doesn't look too bad, actually, but could be some maybe suspension gremlins. I actually don't see any damage on that car.
Yeah.
Or Curtis White.
I
think he got lucky there. Yeah, I think he got lucky with... I mean, he got in the side of Romano for sure. A little bit of contact with Hinson when they were already slowing down, but that might have been it for the 66. Maybe just track position lost, which is not the end of the world. So I think we're hitting the choose here.
Yes, we did hit the choose. That's how big the chatter was, and we did see Barnes be the first one to choose the outside. And a lot more people want the inside, don't they? Cochran the second to jump up high side in the C4 car.
Well, I mean, what did I say when we went last time? How this bottom gives you that safety valve ability to drive and drop it below the racing surface to avoid accidents. And what did we see most of the field do in that situation? Drop it below the racing surface to try and avoid the accident. So definitely a little bit of a value add, even though it may not be the fast way on the initial restart.
So, warning, car 45, everybody's good, is what race control just confirmed. Pollock and Barnes, Robertson and Cochran. Then it's Gillen and Brock, Zach Davidson, Jewett, Wilson, Good are in the top 10. Hunt and Wren are the next drivers back. You have a pit weight of Cole, Knopfsnyder, Hood, Brumley that are all grouped in the middle of the pack. Those who just pitted in this recent wave were set up around 17th or so. So we get set up for a 4-lap dash, Morgan. Do you play the safe route, or do you go for the 10 points? Or do you go for a mystery box?
I think the answer to that question is going to be what happens off turn 2. And if you're on the outside lane, if you're the 27 or the 88, and you get a good run off of turn 2, you're going for the stage points for sure. You're trying to get that win. If you don't get a good run off of turn 2, I think you bail and you drop in the bottom lane and let everyone else fight it out on the top side.
4-lap dash. Pollock looking to drive ahead. Green, green, green. And my goodness, Robertson hit the apron.
Big
All
jump.
sorts of sketch. Yeah, that was a huge one.
Oh, and Barnes can't get in. Have to file in behind Cochran. Here comes Gillen. The big move.
So, at the moment, 3 of the top 5 cars are all Black Diamond Motorsports entries. Barnes and the WFR car looks to try and establish the presence of the outside. Zach Davidson gets a huge shot to the back bumper of the 27. Here we go. Coming to 3 to go. Davidson trying to reset. Barnes is trying to side draft.
It'll take a minute for the outside line to get wound up fully. I think they're just now coming to full song. And they're even for the front row. Barnes pulls ahead.
There he goes. Chris Barnes to the inside. Zach Davidson now sees Barnes play the Pied Piper. Inside, outside, let's go every line. It looks like Barnes now is establishing the inside. Now establishes the outside where that run comes. Now goes to the inside. Don't think I've seen Pied Piper like this before.
Yeah, I think he may have made a bad decision there. The 0-1 is 2 is outside with Jewett pushing him. And Caleb Hunt not that far behind on the outside lane. Michael Cole up there as well. C4 representing in row number 4.
A lot of these drivers looking for a way to poke ahead. Pit road closed this time through. 2 laps to go. The dash to pick up stage points is on. Barnes looking to try and brave the hunger of points. Bit of a bobble there by Jewett. He was way loose behind Davidson.
And that might just be the nail in the coffin for the outside lane, as it's, again, 4 cars on the bottom. Now Cochran goes to the high side to try and lead it. Gets to Robertson's quarter panel, and then they're going to fill the bottom spot. He's going to have to make his bed now and go down if he wants. It's not there. Top 3 surge ahead.
Cochran's trying to get somebody to push him. Nobody willing to push.
3 wide.
Last long though. 1 to go in the stage. Final time around in stage 1. Barnes and Pollock stay bumper to bumper. The outside's not working for Cochran. Will anybody try and ditch Barnes? There are 3 teammates, 2nd to 4th. Will they try and take this away from Christian Barnes, the series champion of last year?
There goes Pollock. I think they get your answer right in front of Cochran. All 3.
Play. Here we go. Teamwork makes the dream work. For stage points, for Black Diamond, it's Pollock who marches them to stage points. Robertson and Gillen, the top 3. End of the stage. Also, we'll see Cochran, Zach Davidson, Barnes, Jewett, Brock, Cole, Hunt are in your top 10, Morgan, to close out the first stage of 2026.
Absolutely. What a run. Or Alex Pollock, that's going to be your stage winner. Maybe we should chat with our stage winner. What do you think? We got him up on the driver cam.
Well, it depends.
If he's in a session. I don't think he's here, actually. How unfortunate.
I think he's amongst those in the team huddles that are amongst those in the league itself. But Pollock, you can see the communications with his teammates are trying to make sure they figure out where the game plan is. They are due to come down pit road coming through once they catch the pace car.
How about it? Started 3rd, led 23 laps. Wins the first stage, just like he won duel number 1. Winning streak continues.
Definitely seems like he is going to be tough to beat if you keep him with the track position. drivers catch up to the field here. It's going to take a few moments to regroup here, Morgan, as so far the Mystic 500 has been a ball. Couple cautions, but it's Alex Pollock who takes stage 1 here on V-Speed. Pit road time for the field. Let's find out what games we have on strategy. We do have a couple staying out. King is amongst them. Rayshawn Winkfield, who came down one of the caution flags, is now going to become your leader with King up at the head of the field. But everybody else is making it simplified. The next stage ends at lap 130, and they can basically play the same strategy they did this past run with no major alterations in terms of the fuel consumption. We're already seeing Michael Cole the first out. Others like Pollock elect to just take 4 tires and get better grip.
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see if you haven't ever been pushed in one of these cars when you're the leader. You have ultimate downforce on the nose because there's no air or nothing impeding the air to your nose. But with a car on your back bumper, it lifts the air off of your spoiler and can make it difficult to drive. It can get you what we call loose or a little bit free, where it makes the car want to spin out. Michael Cole being on old tires and a full tank of fuel will only make that even worse. So we'll see what it's like when he's getting pushed, if he's able to hang on to it, or if we see bobbles out of that 43.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch for. Same for Luke Barnes. I'm surprised Luke Barnes played that strategy. He's been in 2 caution flags. But also Dylan Brumley also played that card. Curtis White also played that card, although he already pit for damage repair previously. Coming to the 1-in shoes, and Rayshawn Winkfield, for the first time tonight, is up at the point. He will look to try and see if he can fend off the crowd here. We know he's a rambunctious driver. He is fast, but also is looking for clean runs. It looks like Isaac Wilson got caught speeding. He'll drop to the tail in this restart. As it looks like Winkfield is going to choose the bottom. Looks like, yes, and King choose the bottom. Somebody's got to choose the top, right? Yes, there he goes. Oh, and somebody definitely got the commitment cone, I think.
I would agree. Definitely going to be a violation on that one. We'll have to see who it is. That's just an instant EOL penalty. 17.
Yes.
Looks like they got
Charles
the call.
Robertson.
Robertson, that's a tough break. Was running really well.
Just got to wait for race control to confirm, and it is confirmed. Straight through the middle of the seam, and there goes the track position for Robertson. He had been the second to want to be on the outside, but he's not going to get that choice to stay there. So as the rest of the field catches up here and gets sorted out here, and ours like Reggie Kime top off or get damage repairs done, Wakefield and Barnes, Jewett and King, Barnes and Cole, Christian Barnes specifically. Then it's Pollock and Cole, Cochran and Brumley, Gillen and Cross with Curtis White in the top 12. So some of the teammates grouped together, but some of the others who have been up and down the order. Daytona Cross, who missed his pit stall during green flag stops, in a decent spot here.
He got spun, too. Still running 11th. I mean, this 00's got no quit. Clearly a lot of speed.
Yeah. Trying to show I think the power of X is on the hood for Germanex. But it's Toyotas that lead the way, then a Ford and a Chevy. All tires for the first about 6 or 7 cars here. Pace car is off. Wingfield is in control. Green flag is out. We're underway again for stage 2 of the Mystic 500. Looks like a clean start. The outside's actually got a better start this time with Luke Barnes, but no one's willing to push. Also, a lot of people in the back who have been involved in some of the incidents are already straggling back.
Yeah, whether it be damage or just not a willingness to push all that hard. Dropping back. Top 2 on the top are clear. I don't know if Jewett almost forced Barnes down to the bottom or if that was synchronized, but 43 started moving, 04 went with them. They lead the bottom lane.
So all the drivers try and get the strategy going. A little bit of door-to-door contact there. Some drivers saying not clear on the radio. A little bit of argy-barginess popping up. Bad news if you're a Chris Hood fan, by the way. Hood had a technical issue. Just rejoined the session. And Hood will now join the multiple drivers laps down. Also off track, Gavin Henson and Peyton Craig from various issues or penalties. So far, we're down to 35 still on circuit. It's been relatively clean in terms of the attrition rate, Morgan.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, add Brad Nelson to that list as well. Obviously, the first driver out of the race. Still on pit road, but the motor's blown. It's day over for the 33. It's been pretty solid as far as having drivers not wreck out of the event. Technical issues notwithstanding, of course, but pretty green so far.
Luke Barnes, an interesting character to keep an eye on here today. Going to be running, I believe, with C4 part of this in terms of the pattern in the 04 rather. Trying to keep it clean, keep it focused. Luke Barnes, funnily enough, just so happens to match the tire changer name for 2311 Racing. I'm very, very certain that's the same person because he's covered in sponsors from 2311 Racing. What I'm trying to say is NASCAR officials and trying to make sure they have a little bit of fun too because some of them are snowed out.
Top side starting to form up. Cross faked, pushing Winkfield. Here comes Pollock to the rescue. As they go around, Hood is just rejoining the racetrack. I don't think I've ever seen cars spark like this at Daytona. I mean, I've seen it happen on low air pressure, but this is every lap.
I've seen it last year. It's with this way the aero packages, it is a light show every lap. I'm surprised they still have chassis with how much they scrape. It's almost like the F1 cars with the porpoising.
Maybe the chassis manufacturers made them a little thicker so they can get to that minimum weight, so they just grind it off on the racetrack. Who knows? Maybe little games being played in the engineering department, the R&D department. But so far, so good for Pollock and Winkfield. Here comes King.
Right now, they are battling hard here. Coming off the corner, King wants to lead from Meatball Motorsports. Has the WFR car of Barnes all over the bumper. A lot more racier this stage so far. Stage 1, they immediately went patience mode. This time, you have a lot more people willing to play because we have 2 different strategies on fuel with the front 2 compared to everybody else.
Yeah, King and Winkfield, obviously 14 laps on this stint. Barnes and Pollock, about half of that amount. So they'll have to pit sooner than everyone else. Will they be able to pull other drivers down pit road with them, or will they get left out to dry? Oh, the 04 just had a big moment in the middle of 1 and 2, almost took out Gillen.
A bit sketchy, but Adam Holston, he was one of the drivers that started off strong in 2025. That included runs at super speedways like Echo Park was in contention there with wins, then faded off. This season, different number, looking for a new spark of confidence. See just how patient he's trying to play it on the steering wheel. A little bit of a bobble, a lot of wiggles actually down the straightaway.
I mean, that's just the rack and pinion steering in this car as well. Very difficult to keep it in a straight line regardless, even if you were by yourself with the way the steering works. Even more difficult when you're racing at 190 plus miles an hour, inches apart from your competitors. Gillen gets shuffled out of line.
Yep, didn't have the friends around him, and that's towards the tail of the pack. Looks like he will find a hole and reset. Gillen's actually having a really good race.
Yes.
Last year wasn't really a contender in too many of the events in 2025. But he's been playing a smart race, one of the smartest races I think I've ever seen him in any sort of car for him this weekend.
Yeah, definitely has just been solid in all the races so far. Hasn't really done anything that stood out in either the Truck Series race on Friday or the National Series race yesterday, and obviously today just running well. Running here in just outside the top 10 and 12th. Just putting a good one together. Still in contention, of course.
Still in strong contention. Just going to have to wait for some runs like that one. Cochran just trying to leapfrog, and Gillen trying to reach out for his quarter panel. Looks like Michael Cole willing to work in those RC4 cars. I think they just want to test the waters here. They have a gap to play with, so they do have the ability to just test around, see what is going to work later and what's not.
And with the big checkup on the bottom that just happened, perfect time to jump out of line. Try and gain a spot or two.
Big checkups going on here. As the outside, just see Romano move up. Talked about him earlier on. Romano just staying out of trouble. He was able to dodge some of the chaos earlier on. And looks like with some of the drivers really slowing down and some of them saving a little bit here in the 180s, that outside line's got some true potential to boost here. You have one little factor though, and it involves Aaron Baum, who is the 2 car.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, they did not like Romano.
Here comes, I thought Wingfield was going to go up. Pollock may, and Barnes as well. Welcome to the high side, folks. Wingfield also. They do not want to follow behind King.
All of them working around here as Baum moves up. Gonna be a tight squeeze for a couple of them. One staying safe, 2's holding their line. No issues, no issues. Everybody lives. And up to the lead goes Wingfield as Pollock glides him down to the inside, and now Pollock is going for the point.
Yeah, Pollock was going to try and go with them. Not quite clear. Big push from Barnes. 92 might get clear. Is for a moment. Will he take it? Doesn't look like it, down into 3.
Not willing to clear on by yet. Barnes stays on the bumper.
Oh, big slide for Wingfield.
That was a big checkup from King. They are very lucky the field responded.
And then Wingfield was able to keep it under control. I mean, if that car gets sideways, the entire inside line is toast.
Yeah, everybody checked up, and now they're 3 wide. Cochran has Pollock now to his inside. Pollock is being ditched. Cole and Cochran, They want to be the only ones to lead the outside line, and Pollock says, okay, I guess I'm just going to reset.
I'd have to think that was just a mistake and not intentional. I fully expect the 88, 43, 92, and probably 24 as well to work together here. Although the outside has a lot of work to do to regroup.
Yeah, right now they are going to have to work hard to be able to reset if they so choose to, at least. Next one who's risking being lapped, by the way, for those wanting to keep track, Reggie Kime. Every other car is in this pack at the moment. No one else has lost touch yet. There's Reggie Kime, and he immediately lost touch with those who straggled at the back and has been lonely since. Meanwhile, it's 3 wide again. Yet again, they are not willing to work with whoever is trying to move up middle. Keenan Barnes this time, and Cochran's got a majority of the field behind him on the high side next to the wall. Now they duck back in.
I was getting nervous. If there's 3 wide catching a lap car, that just simply will not work. There's not enough space in this racetrack to go comfortably 4 wide. Keyword comfortably. You can do it, but it's not going to be a good time as they catch Kime. I think Kime will stick to the bottom. Yes, he will.
Adjust. Oh my goodness, that's a late cut. This is going to be close for some.
Oh, why'd he go up? Oh no. I don't know why he went off the bottom. Just about took out Barnes with him and the rest of the field behind him. That was sketchy, to say the least.
There's being swallowed by the pack, and then there's that. Kime is not close at all to the yellow line. And now the outside line is rematerializing. Kime fills up his gap, but you have to be smart as the lap cars. And that was nerve-wracking, to say the least. And now they have more lap traffic, and Hood and White will be the next stragglers. Everybody else resets on the pushes.
Yeah, if I'm the 04, I am doing, there it is, doing everything I can to get out from behind the 9. Because if that's what you're going to do when you're getting lapped, there is no telling what you're going to do when you're getting pushed.
I think it actually crushed the front nose of Barnes a little bit. He's got a little bit of damage on the front end.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them. And you're seeing just how difficult it is to get ahead now with that little bump. He doesn't know he's got the damage, obviously. Here comes Wakefield now.
And Winfield bailed them out in a big way. Here comes Hood. And they're going to catch White as well.
Field clears again. Barnes doesn't clear. In fact, he stays on the high side. Here comes Cochran, willing to work with him. And now a huge checkup. They're racing like it's the final laps of the stage. They still, in most of these cases, are about halfway, if not even at halfway in the fuel runs. There's plenty of laps to work with unless you are the 51 and the 35 who have not gotten the caution they're looking for. Cochran to the point, and now let's immediately cut to the inside.
And they were both able to clear. Pollock has it too if he wants it. Hole closed up. He's going to lead the outside with Rin pushing.
So as they continue to shuffle out here, Morgan, what is kind of going through your mindset as a driver here? Well, hold that thought. Zachary White just knocked the wall down. The 77 just about crashed into the pack and hit the wall 3 times. Well, outside of that scare, what else goes through your mind?
I'm starting to learn who I can trust and who I can't. I'm starting to learn who I want to work with and who I don't. And I'm starting to learn who I don't want on my back bumper and who I do want on my back bumper as we get down to the later stages of the stage. We're not even halfway yet, but you've already accumulated 86 laps of knowledge, and you're going to use that later on in this race.
Plus the duels. Don't forget about the duels for an extra 60 on top of the knowledge base.
That's true.
You're talking a combined 500 and... I'm already blanking on the exact mileage on the duels. We're looking at
650. Yeah.
650. Math is hard.
It's all right.
We do announcing and driving. It's not about calculations. Oh, somebody blinked in. That is Brumley up the track.
They have a spot behind Cross to slide in, probably not lose too much time. There it is. Could have been a lot worse, but luckily, just worked out there as somehow Hood caught up into the pack. I don't know how that happened. I thought they were just getting lapped. Here they are, 5 cars up on the top side. There's Hood right there.
Yeah.
And while we have a moment, let's ride on board with the 13.
Yeah, he's your last car running on the racetrack. But can't tell if he's calm, bewildered. What would you say?
I'd say he's calm. We're riding right now, right? 36th. Clearly got a fast car, started up in the top 5. Just needs to get that lap back. Oh, he's actually 6 laps down, of course, because of the connection issue. But just ride. Things happen. There we go. We see you, Chris.
He definitely knows he's on camera. Maintains himself in the field. Has to be able to keep his eyes open. Luke Barnes, again to the point, or trying to at least, by the way. Looks like Cochran still with Michael Cole. The 88 and 43 have made it clear they are wanting to be able to win this race. Cole is willing to be Cochran's wingman. Cochran, another one of those drivers who ran Crown Jewel races last year and contended for race wins. He wants to start off the year with a bang.
Yeah, already got the W at Indianapolis in the Brickyard 400 last year. Wants to add the 2500 to his list and finally get what has been a downright awful super speeder resume. Get a big check mark on it. He has not performed well on the big tracks here in the Mystic Racing League.
See him doing well. And talking about team side of things, lots of different groups. Paint Booth has been very busy in terms of promoting who's driving with who. I know C4 Racing, for example, I believe that is your group, is it not?
It sure is. You bet.
And were they talking a lot about this type of a game plan in terms of their approach for the Cup Series, or were they keeping that secret knowing you were in the broadcast?
No, it was a poorly kept secret if it was a secret that they wanted to work together for sure. I don't know if they had a plan beyond if I see one of my teammates I'm gonna push them. But other than that, I mean they've been able to stick together the whole time. Pollock is likely working with them as well in the 92, not on the team but an affiliate with Black Diamond Motorsports, and they're just trying to win the race the best they can.
Trying to work hard to be able to control this field. 10 laps away, coming to 9 laps into the halfway point here from Daytona International Speedway. Looks like Pollock letting the nose breathe a little bit, and here comes the run. Up to the point, Luke Barnes yet again. Works well, it looks like, with Pollock here to be able to get that edge down the front straight away. And once again, Cochran gets the advantage here once again on the inside. So, in our words here, for some of these drivers, it's just the normal paces here. But the big thing is Wingfield is going to have to come down. That's going to be the big thing with him and Zachary King. Those drivers have to convince others to go with them and try and run the tank dry.
Yeah, this is like a game of diplomacy right now, where you have to convince other people to work against their best interests and work in favor of yours. They've only got about 8 laps to convince others to go with them, like you said. And I bet they are all over the radio trying to get drivers to go with them, because right now they are not in a great spot if there's only 2 of them and they're mixed up throughout the pack.
Yeah, I don't think there's been conversation on the radio. Haven't heard any chatter that way. Doesn't mean they aren't DMing each other. Crew chiefs talking to one another. Anything along those lines here tonight. And give credit to the crew members that are working with some of these drivers tonight. Some competitors did pick up spotters or crew chiefs. Romano picked up Gary Greenlee for reference. Dustin Lewis with Jacob Cochran. Peyton Craig had a spotter at one point. Michael Wade still has someone, and Chad Allen working with them. That extra hand definitely is helpful to be able to help you with your strategy.
And I imagine that Alex Pollock also has Evan Janik in his ear. We've seen him win a lot of races here in the Mystic Racing League. Definitely somebody who could be beneficial to the cause, as we've seen. Pollock win a bunch of stings already this week.
Janik, a dominant driver in this series. Obviously, going to be a name that is big, that is not a part of those here today, but it's going to be important to help for the chances for some of those drivers on the charge. Speaking of charges, Wingfield, again looking to shuffle to the front. Yet to clear, nothing doing. Fuel run, estimated for Wingfield about 12 at the top end at the moment as they work their way through. There's Brett Wren, we were talking about him earlier. He's in the heart of the conversation amongst those now cruising on the bottom with Gillen.
Let's take a moment to point out Harold Tucker III. Haven't said his name yet at all today. Picked up a sponsor for this one. Remember, that car was completely black in both qualifying and in the duels. And as we come down to pit stops, let's ride on board, see what he's got going on here.
Yeah, Loyalty Automotive is who jumped aboard.
Oh, he's almost wrecked.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. You're right. He just about wrecked. We caught a moment of pure panic on the face of Harold Tucker III, and they're still trying to figure out where they want to go.
He slammed into Daytona across his fender and has destroyed the left front of the car. So Tucker has now got a parachute on his front bumper, at least if he's the lead car. That's, again, why you want to be careful when you cut into a line like that.
Absolutely. He's got a mix of frustration and now relief, being able to have it all kind of sort out. And now that he's got, now they had King in front of him, but he cuts in front of Rin. Right behind Gillen at this point. My goodness, what a sequence.
Yeah, now he's got to take a breather. Lap traffic staying bottom, and they're staggering in an awkward way. That's because some people want the wall, some people want the top. Let's go 3 wide with Devin Curl. In fact, King just about dooring Pollock for it. They are really getting nerve-wracking, and now drivers are saying, you know, it's lap 97, right?
I mean, it all started with Curl sticking to the bottom, which is totally his right. Nothing wrong with that, but the field couldn't work around him. That's the red, white, and blue car, 4th car on the bottom of the racetrack. As Wingfield goes to the top part of Cochran again. Oh, there goes Wingfield around in front of the field. This is going to be the big one.
Caution flag is out. They are stacking up big.
And they're still wrecking.
Slamming to the brake.
They're still wrecking. Oh, my goodness. That is like 15, 20 cars involved. And it all started with a bad bump at the very front.
Well, there's the caution that a couple drivers needed. The problem is they were both involved in it.
That's right. That is right.
Remember that conversation about line bumps? I think we just had that conversation come in. Watch after he holds off the 88 on the outside. And right here at Morgan, it gets really, really tricky.
He was good on the first one. And then right there, just miscommunication of where the lead car was going to go, where the second car wanted to push, got offset. You cannot get offset that far to the left. You will spin that guy every single time.
That is a lot of destroyed race cars. A good portion of the field now has heavy damage. There are cars fully stopped, Morgan, just to avoid this.
Now you're going to see the big chunk of it here. Rin got a big piece of it. Few drivers sneak through. Ullman again is involved. White got spun. Wallace is sideways sliding on the racetrack. The 07 did a really nice job of avoiding this. Lauren Vincent, let's ride on board.
Oh, and we just had a spin under live action, by the way. We might have to look at something after, but for Vincent, he looked at absolute parking lot.
They're still wrecking around him, finds a way through it, almost came to a stop. They threw him across, big contact. I think Caleb Hunt got him there.
And it got worse under caution here because Charles Robertson went around and it was a while. 2 different cars actually spun in turns 3 and 4 here under caution.
Yeah, this is Robertson. I don't know if he's just trying to see if he has damage, which he certainly does on the nose. Looks okay here.
Well, think okay.
Oh, there's the 66s around. Oh, and then
and
the 17 spun to avoid it. So did the 91 spun to avoid it. What happened to the 66? Oh my goodness. Things going awry here.
Absolute parking lot, and
is there a full moon out?
White. Daytona doesn't have a moon in iRacing, but it sure feels like it.
Oh, just a big checkup. Oh, and he hit the wall too. Cross didn't see him. Yikes. Baum did a nice job of avoiding the 91. Wallace was unable to. My goodness. Well, that was interesting.
Half the field was in that, by the way, Morgan. So, Curtis White, Luke Barnes, Sam Hurst, Banky, Tucker, Winkfield, Robertson, Cross, Wallace are amongst the many damage repairs. John Ullman, Dylan Brumley is already amongst those who left the session and then already came back. Oh, by the way, your EOL for that is to be expected, the 88, Jacob Cochran.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to split it 3 wide or if he just missed the push, but regardless, definitely caused the contact that put the 35 around and unfortunately probably dashed a lot of drivers' hopes at winning the Mystic 500. As Brumley, I believe, is out of the race now. Add that to the list of casualties. Few have been on pit road for a while. Daytona Cross is still there. That car heavily damaged. Rashawn Winkfield, of course, still on pit road. David Wallace, John Ullman.
So much chaos as a result of one caution period, as we've already doubled up here. Cole and Gillen are on the front row, by the way. Everybody pit under the yellow. Choose is good. Drivers are getting more warnings about how to choose. You have to wait until the car in front of you chooses. You can't just immediately choose.
Driver's been getting warnings for that for a lot of this race and will continue to for the entire year. For some reason, that seems to be one of those difficult things to do. Is you see the lane that you want, there's only one driver in front of you before you get it, and you make that decision, and all of a sudden you've made it difficult so the guy in front of you can't drive back down the racetrack or back up the racetrack because you're already there, and causes more issues than it's worth. So that's one of the unfortunate side effects of the choose, is just the timing of it can get a little strange since most drivers aren't used to it.
So we are coming up to 30 to go in the stage. Halfway, we get back racing. Everybody can make it to the end of this stage on gas. Will we see the field try and duck to the bottom, or will it stay racy like it's been all stage? About good half the field did choose the outside. Green, green, green. We're backing away. Technical blip for one car, but the 43 with a huge jump.
He might regret that here in a moment when the field catches up to him. That was a big, big jump. The outside didn't really show up either, so I think it's all going to work out fine. Pollock and Holston, as well as Jewett on the bottom. Haven't really talked about the tandem of Holston and Jewett, but they'll be working together all day as well.
Here they go in terms of their pushing power. The driver having technical issues is Adam Holston. A few drivers are watching for that. Look who's up there, Thomas Hartzog. Where did he come from? He's been in the back much of the way after his issues on pit road.
Yeah, spun onto pit road and haven't seen him since. Clearly a lot of speed still in the 4. Didn't get much damage from the incidents, but when half the field gets wiped out in front of you and you're able to avoid it, you can certainly gain some positions from it. And how about Romano, top 5? Big move to the outside.
And now all sorts of drivers trying to square things away. Cole, though, continues to control up at the front as some of the drivers who are newer to the series look to power ahead. Led lap so far tonight, by the way. Curtis White, who is out of the race, was the driver who led the most laps coming in to this restart sequence. Alex Pollock is second in that total. Pollock, 29. King, 14. All other drivers have led only single digits. There's been a fair amount of leaders, in fact, at least 10 plus so far tonight.
Yeah, 4 cautions, 23 lead changes as we just cross halfway. It's been competitive out here at Daytona.
Yeah, all of them trying to communicate on where they want some of these pushes here for good measure. Looking as these drivers sort. Clayton Good, another driver who spun on pit road, also has joined the fray.
He also spun trying to avoid the issue with the 66. The 91 did, so really good rebound considering how many times that car's been sideways.
Yeah. Been so far tonight able to keep it pretty clean despite the spins. That is very helpful in a race that now has a fair few amount of drivers that have taken some 4Xs here this evening. What's kind of that mindset when you start seeing the attrition build up like it has now as it's ramped up here in stage 2?
Well, it's what I said at the start of the race was avoid the accidents. You keep the car in one piece, and it's important now more than ever. I mean, setting yourself up in a good position, that's great and all, but we still have a stage end and at least 2 to 3 more pit stops before we even think about getting to the end of this race. So just be in the pack and don't have damage on the car, and things will probably work out for you to at least fight for the win.
All the drivers continuing to see the line start to play a little bit differently here this run for the last one. Also amongst the drivers that are picking up a bit of ground as a result of how the cautions have played out so far. Haven't talked about one of the drivers that's working his way on the bottom too much, Isaac Brock down there on the bottom side. You see the outside, though, blocking off. Those drivers getting a little bit aggressive. Brock's been amongst those that had to lose the pack. These drivers are making sure Romano loses his drafting partner.
Yeah, Romano shoved out of line. That is one fast car leading the outside lane, and Luke Barnes. Oh, King with a big moment. Wow.
Zachary King having a scare. Yeah, absolutely there. And a lot of scares have come on through. Try to move up on the high side, then bounced off the back of the 19.
But those 3 leading the outside lane are 3 of the best super speedway racers in this field. I expect them to be able to get going in a hurry.
Now you see that right now with some of the drivers really trying to hustle here. Luke Barnes, we talked about him, has led a couple laps here tonight. Let's take a look at the replay machine, or rather the camera machine. You see Barnes staying hyper-focused with the direct drive.
Another driver who's had an absolutely stellar week. Led the most laps last night. Unfortunately, I ended up taking him out in that one. Probably should have won the race. Maybe tonight.
Yeah, tonight might be the night when it comes to Barnes. He's had the composure, it seems. He's been willing to be pretty aggressive, too. He's just been dealing with a little bit of damage here at this point of the run as we're coming up to nearly 20 laps to go in the stage coming up. Right now, this lead group, by the way, 20 cars deep. We are starting to lose the amount of drivers that we've seen earlier in strength, where it was up to the 30s, still maintaining the lead pack with a couple stragglers. Now, as we continue on here, Morgan, and the attrition builds up, it's getting harder and harder to be able to maintain enough of a good car to keep up.
Yeah, the first driver out of the group here, McCoy Benke in 21st, Jacob Cochran with Winkfield, who's a lap down. Got Hurst all by himself here, almost working with Tucker the third. Ullman is in the pack. Then we saw Winkfield and then Cross also by himself. So those are the drivers who aren't in the group right now. So we have a battle for the lead. Gillen has caught up to the front row.
Gillen goes up to the outside, and we've seen tonight him work very well with his teammates. Now he looks to try and get himself his own lead laps up on the board. Pollock, his teammate, the pusher on the inside. And right now, Gillen, you know he's been playing a smart race. What else has stood out to you when it comes to Gillen's run?
I mean, under the radar. And if you're under the radar, that's a good thing at this race. If people are talking about you, so far, it's probably not a good thing. If you're just in the race and you're existing, but you're up at the front of the field, up in the top 5, top 10, people will start to notice that later. They'll say, hey, this car's been around a lot, but I haven't seen him make any ill-advised moves, as we see Daytona crossing the outside wall off of turn 2. And then eventually, that parlays itself into you being able to work with those drivers, potentially go pick up this win.
Those potential opportunities definitely built up. Right now, Isaac Wilson on the radio, not happy with his pushes in the background, by the way. He's not willing to go flush right now with some of the drivers, but Zachary King has been slamming into the 93. Hold on 1 second. Where was that lap car going?
That Curl just had a big moment. Black flag on Curl as well. Quick replay.
Screen went black here, Morgan.
That's what it was. Yeah, so far so good. And all of a sudden, oh, and he caught the pit exit. That's what the black flag was for.
It cleared by race control.
Came on just in the nick of time, and the 77 was going around.
It's been very chattery right now. I was about to allude to, Morgan, with some of the pushes and with some of the drivers pushing the pusher. Some of that comfortability is coming down to driver cases here. And it looks like that's forced King, after some of the chatter on the radio, to move to the bottom.
And we know King will be aggressive with both the moves left to right as well as the pushes. That's just who he is on super speedways, and it works for him, so no reason to change what he's doing. Yeah, it seems like right after halfway in a long race like this, drivers go, yeah, we checked off the first milestone. Now it's time to go. And then it takes a little while for drivers to tap down those nerves a little bit, because we're still like hundreds of miles from getting to the end of this race. We haven't finished stage 2 yet.
It just hasn't felt like, with the way things have gone, a race where you remember, oh, there's stages. It's just been that wild of a rotation of some of this battling we've seen in stage 2 compared to stage 1. It was so tame for much of the way until the pit stops, where everybody had issues coming in. But now, as things stagger out again, look at some of the drivers as they scatter about in this field. You have a lot of the lap cars hoping for a bit of luck. Your lucky dog car.
Oh, big crash! One car.
Well,
wow, only 2 cars? I thought that was going to be the whole field. Oh, man. I think that was the 95 involved. Justin Miller? Yes. And is that David Wallace, potentially? Also, yes. That should have been like a 10-car pileup. That was... Unfortunately, they crashed, of course, but excellent job not making that worse.
Might be Reggie Kyman, the lucky dog, right on cue of being the lucky dog. Depends on if there was contact coming down the front straightaway.
Kime
You
is
see
the
they're
car in
already-
front of him.
Yeah, they were trying to push him.
Right behind Brett Rinn. Reggie Kime. Yeah, contact with Kime. Oh, that will not give him the lucky dog. I don't believe. Yeah, the 04 just kind of came up a little bit. I'm not really sure why. Got it one more time here. Hey, just watch the 04 here. Luke Barnes.
That's just maintaining. There's the cut.
Went up. I don't know if he knew that 95 was there. And Wallace got, I think Wallace got the worst of it, having to push that car for so long.
Zero 04 gets cause of caution on that, it sounds like, Morgan. And we have a split strategy. Barnes is amongst those coming down with some of the drivers at the back, but the front of the field does stay out here. We're going to have less than 15 to go in the stage when we get back going, 14 specifically. Your lucky dog, because Reggie Kime got tapped, is actually the 2 car. Aaron Baum gets the lucky dog.
That car's been a lap down since the very start of the race, so that's finally got that lucky dog 115 laps later.
Welcome back to V-Speed for tonight's coverage of the Mystic 500. Justin Prince, Morgan Cook with you. Our camera is provided by the great Dougie Beard. So far, it's been an interesting night in regards to the start of the season for the MRL and the Slim Chickens NASCAR Cup Series powered by Tier1 SetupShop.com. Choose this time through. King the first to choose the height side this time, but Michael Cole is the one who leads over King. Pollock and Holston amongst your top 4 cars, Morgan, in what started off calm has seen the attrition step up.
Yeah, stage 2, a lot more wild than stage 1, to say the least. We have seen a number of incidents here in the last 40 or so laps. Before that, we almost went the entire first stage green. What are we going to continue to see when we cross over this 130 lap mark to finish stage 2 and into stage 3, JP? Do we calm back down, or do we continue to get more and more wild?
Right, depends on the field. As why is Daytona cross there?
Not really sure.
Is he laying by the cars? I think so. That's why he's just taking it in a very weird way. Choose is good. So we will have a 14-lap dash here to decide stage 2. And Cole is up at the front. But King, Pollock, Barnes have been amongst those very racy here. How do you feel this is going to close out for stage 2?
Well, I imagine that the 51 and 27 will continue to work well together and push hard together as they have all night long. They've done a great job of working through the field from the back to the front. Here they are with an opportunity to pay it off with stage 2 points. The bottom side, they'll be working together as well. And of course, that tandem of Holston and Jewett still holding tough. Cars 3 and 4 on the bottom side. They'll be glued together the entire night as well.
So here we go to the restart zone. 14 laps to go. Green flag is out, and the inside much more organized. Pollock went straight just about to the bumper of Cole. Is able to push them ahead here as we're back underway.
The outside not falling back as much as we thought they would. 2.5 car lengths back. Alongside Jewett, Holston continues to blink wildly. Here comes the 51 on the high side.
'51 gets the help of the 27 and the 91 as they make their way on through 3 and 4. Last season's runner-up in the Mystic 500. Looking really stout. He's been trying to keep himself up front, especially as of late. How difficult is that for King, especially knowing how quickly he dropped the start? Since then, he's really tried everything, strategy to stay here.
Yeah, once you lose track position, it is exceedingly hard to get it back. Once you're up here, you can do a decent amount of things to try and keep it. Change lanes, be aggressive with your blocks, aggressive with the side draft. You just want to stay in the front couple in your row and have a good pusher behind you. And you should be able to keep that track position, although the outside line is fading fairly quickly as they're now back to, even with the 5th car in line, now Gillen going to try and make that the 6th car in line.
Trying as hard as they can to swiftly get around, but it's not happening. Look who's up in the 5th line. Spot for that line, by the way. The RMS car, Lauren Vincent, you were talking about there. The 07. Amongst those who had to dodge some of the big ones earlier. And now the Auto Garage McAfee's machine. Keeping it up front, the highest he's really been tonight. Oh, there's a wreck in the back of the group. Hold on 1 second. We have drivers on the apron. That includes Michael Wade. We stay green. There was a stack up on the bottom. That included Winkfield and a couple others, and we did not wreck it.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. Seems like he was by himself anyway. A technical difficulty there, apologies.
Yeah. So, a few drivers able to survive with the call-outs there coming from the radio. Will hurt Wade again. Coming around to 10 to go in the stage this time through. 10 laps to work with. King continues to try and pull back the 92, but the 92 just will not stick to the front end of the 51 for a side pole.
That 48 is blinking quite a bit, hurting the entire inside line. Not enough that the outside can get there. Look at the gaps between the 51, 27, and 24. But it makes it a little nerve-wracking for everyone behind the 48 on the bottom, that blue and black car, that if they keep blinking in and out, you lose the draft for 1 and you can't see them for 2.
Now, Jewett working hard with his teammate, trying to help him a little bit earlier when he was a lap down. Now the 2 is at least back on the lead lap, albeit will need the caution to be able to reset with some of the others. Jewett playing it well in the 45, and now one of the part-timers from last season.
Not sure if he's running the full schedule or not this year, but we see the 45 is a threat to win everywhere we go. Driver, we haven't spent a lot of time talking about the 21, Isaac Brock.
Yeah, let's try to reference him earlier. Isaac Brock about a top 10 French driver in some of the races, and, well, he's looking calm also. He's in the, looks like earbuds.
Yeah, laser focused. This driver 21. I think he sees it. He's on TV now.
Yeah.
Oh, contact in front of him.
A couple drivers getting a little sketchy out there. Didn't really have any emotional reaction to that. Stays firm. Brock running 17th for the time being. Coming up to 7 to go in the stage.
Yeah, almost had a time there. The 9 pushing hard. Although he is a lap down, trying to get around Winkfield, who is the car in front of him. That's for the lucky dog battle. Ullman, part of that as well in the 34 right behind them.
They got to figure this out fast. Winkfield right now holding firm in that spot, though, with them all on the outside line. Kime. Another little shot as Ullman resets it. Ullman covered with the Slim Chickens logos all last season. He's been able to fix most of the damage. Give him credit in the 34.
They've been caught up in about every major accident we've had. Again, none of them really his fault. Just wrong place, wrong time every time. In the Slim Chickens 34. 1 lap down. Fresh car. Should, if he's able to get back in the lead lap, be able to make something happen with this. As Michael Cole was falling back, went to the high side, gave up the lead on the bottom.
Yet again, Zachary King to the point. He's led 15 times so far tonight. And now, he looks to play it out perfectly for some stage points. Technical issues continue for Holston as we come up to the 5 to go mark. Do you prefer pushes in the corners at this point here, Morgan, or not? Because some drivers are saying, do not push me in the corners with a car that can take some pushes in the corners.
Personally, I always want to get pushed whenever the run comes to me, whether it's on the straightaway or in the corner. If you spin me, it's on me for not controlling it as long as you hit me like in a reasonable way. Of course, pushing on the straightaway is a lot better because you're lined up theoretically. But I never minded being pushed in the corner as long as you're not getting me way off center.
Right now, see those pushes for Wren on the outside. Wren not making up ground. We might see somebody decide to take away the outside to steal away some stage points. 3 to go.
Now is the time you have to make the move. It takes about 3 laps for that lane to get up there. Does anyone jump in front of Wren?
Look like it. Now there's a poke for Jewett. Isn't close enough, though.
07 thought about it.
They're all thinking about it, but no one's willing to actually do it. Put in action.
Wren almost got turned on the straightaway. That outside line is in shambles right now. There goes Gillen. Now that Wren's the pusher, I think they'll be all right. Daytona Cross getting lapped once again in the 0-0.
With 3 laps to work with now on the board here. 128 laps down at the end of this one. Gillen.
They're rolling now.
Yeah, this is perfect for the Fords. 3 Fords lined up. Good bumper shape.
Might get alongside Holston here. They're alongside Jewett. Side draft, pull him back.
You're reading at least one card saying they're having tap issues in the air packs. Tap issues are going to become a factor here to close out the stage. 2 to go. Pit road is closed. Final 2 laps of stage 2. And King continues to hold on, but here comes Gillen. He's building up momentum. Still, though, cannot get past the Lucky Dog car of Winkfield.
No, that outside lane is essentially falling apart here. I just don't think they have the coordination that they require. They've fallen back to 7th in line. They're going to shoot past Winkfield, but it might be too little too late to make a run out of this. Does anyone in front of them go up and try and steal the line away? I'm looking at maybe Holston, if he wants to jump up and try and get us some stage points. Now here comes Gillen.
Now gets alongside the 48. Warning,
Lap
he's giving
car
a
coming.
Holston. Here we go.
That's Michael Wade.
Lap. Wade's got to move. Wade's got to move. Holston is the one trying to move. Wade moves up middle. He's not going to the wall. Wade's not going to the wall. Now he blocks the driver at the outside as they crash.
Unreal.
Rin slams into the 4, and we
Unbelievable.
wreck into 3.
Yeah, unbelievable move.
Caution's out. That's the stage. Zachary Kin wins stage 2. But that is going to get looked at, obviously.
Yeah, you called it. 40, or sorry, the 5 just went to the middle, then to the top, and put Rin in the fence. 4 and Rin go for a ride. And then, Cochran gets involved as well. So does Daytona Cross again. That's probably going to end both those drivers' days, at least their shot of winning. Oh, big hit for Caleb Hunt. Or sorry, that's Tucker the 3rd. Oh, man. Right on board here with the 79. Then we'll go celebrate with our win, with our stage 2 winner. Look at this hit. Minding his own business. Does everything right here. And the 88 just turns and boom. Might have got lucky there. I thought that was a lot harder hit than it was.
So here's how things are sorted at the end of the stage. Kane, Barnes, Holston, Jewett, Vincent, Gillen, Wilson, Pollock, Hunt, and Robertson were the top 10. And that caution will bring us to under 70 to go. A one-stopper to the end here, Morgan, to decide who wins the Mystic 500 just like that.
Zach King going to win stage number 2. Congratulations to the driver of the 51. Yeah, he's been aggressive all night, and he has been fast all night. Maybe after the pit stop, we can have a chat with your stage 2 winner.
He is working with Justin Miller. And Farrow's open. Field is coming down. Free pass, Rayshawn Winkfield. And everybody should indeed be coming down to make sure they get some fuel into their car. Sunoco Race Fuel will be able to quickly get us to about 40 laps on the run. For those wondering if there's any factor in time, by the way, 3.5 hours isn't left to go on the time limit. We will not have any factors on time. Just a small note. As the field times up the pit stops well, Kane, Robertson, Barnes, the first off pit road here.
Now let's get King up here. Zachary King, Morgan, and JP up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
All right, stage 2 winner here. Setting yourself up nicely for the end of this race. What's it going to take to keep that thing in the P1 spot?
I don't know. Just staying with my helpers. Obviously, we're working well with Justin Miller earlier. Got Christian with me now. So, I mean, it's just finding your helpers, staying with your helpers, and capitalizing on others' mistakes, and just being aggressive and side drafting as well as you can.
We've seen you work through the field a few times here, be able to go from the back to the front, make some aggressive moves, especially with the 27 on your back bumper. Is that someone you want to team up with at the end of this race with Christian Barnes and see if you can find your way to 1-2 finish?
That's my best friend, man. And whatever happens, if I wreck off of his nose, I'm happy with it. If he wrecked off my nose, he's happy with it. we have that connection. Like if we wreck off each other's nose, we know we were giving them the hardest push of our life that we could. So obviously that's the thing that you don't want to do. You don't want to wreck off of somebody's nose. You don't want to wreck somebody off your nose. But me and him have that level of understanding because we work together so well all the time. If it does happen, it's not on purpose, and it's just trying to better each other and put us in a better position to win.
Last question before we let you go here. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out so far?
Yeah, shout out to Advanced Work Fans. They're on the hood of the car. Gilbert Fleet and Commercial, Jen Blossom Designs, my parents, mom, dad, grandma, poppy. Love you guys. This has been a phenomenal race, and I hope we can just keep building the momentum as we have been all week long and put us back in victory lane for the third time this week.
All right, that's Zachary King, Stage 2 winner. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
So Zachary King getting the stage, and in those discussions, it's King who will lead the inside line. He ended up having the 17 of Robertson, who's back up in front, join him as well. Barnes is the first on the outside, but what a recovery from the 17. He had heavy damage, and now he's up to third for the restart.
Not only that, but a couple spins, the one under the caution, trying to avoid another car. Trap position lost, and still finds himself up here. Having a Matt Kenseth kind of day, wouldn't you say? Just always seems to be around, not making any real big mistakes himself, and just keeping the head down. And here we are, running P3, beginning of the final stage.
Matt Kenseth did win the Daytona 500, remember?
He did.
Can Robertson do that with the Black Diamond entry here? Does have a teammate starting right next to him for this restart. So the top 10 looks like this right now. It's King and Barnes, Robertson and Pollock, Jewett and Cole, Gillen and Holston, Vincent and Hunt are in your top 10 positions for the restart. So we are going to be racing to the end from this point. The stage points have already been given out. Now the focus is simple. Can you get the checker flag to win $250 and get yourself into the history books as a Mystic 500 winner? The pace car drops off. The green flag is out. Back on our way.
Big jump for King. I think he's going to try and slide in front of the 27. There it is. That was choreographed perfectly. Oh, now to the bottom behind Robertson. Even better.
Caution. Caution flag is out. As we do have a car on the apron.
That came out of pit road, though. Not sure where this is.
It was a race admin caution. Devin Curl. It's coming out pit road.
Yeah, I don't see anything here. I mean, obviously he's not up to speed yet since left pit road, but I don't see anything caution-worthy out of that.
And I am not sure. Race control said there was a car around, but caution flag is out. That's all you can say here. Time to save fuel.
Could have been Zach White. One more look on a replay here. No, he was in the pack, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who that would be.
Very interesting. But everyone did check up. And this will reset everybody again. Got to search for the pace car now. That's the tough part in this. And they'll have to pace around under the yellow flag yet again. This will take us to about 62, 63 laps to go when we get back to racing.
So drivers setting up that one-stop strategy. Do you split it down the middle? Do you push this one long? Do you cut this one short? What do you think, JP?
Well, my thought is stay out. Oh, whoa, that was a spin under caution.
Derek Jewett goes around.
I'm not sure what.
I don't think he realized how close they were to the pace car.
Did he think he was going to hit Pollock? Yeah. He said he wanted to know where the pace car was.
Yeah, he couldn't see the pace car, couldn't see Pollock.
What was that about the full moon theory you were saying again earlier?
I feel like there's a full moon out here. I mean, we've seen some wild stuff tonight. Drivers spinning under caution on numerous occasions. Usually you only see that once, maybe a race. I've seen it almost under every caution, it seems. You know, some interesting lap car maneuvers. We've seen a lot of aggressive racing in the last 40 or so laps. It's become a pretty wild one here in the Mystic 500.
So, coming up to 1 to go. Choosing 1 to go. So with that right now, we are looking at still about 21 cars or so on the lead lap. King, the first to choose in the 45, did not lose track position because it was under caution, that slide. Keep in mind, it's a penalty if you hit somebody under the caution flag, not if you spin under the caution flag, for those curious on that way. So, that being said, we have lost about a quarter of the field to DNFs, by the way, for wanting to check the attrition. Brett Wren, Jacob Cochran amongst the most recent, along with Daytona Cross, who pulled on in. Thomas Herzog, with that previous incident, is getting damage repairs done heavily on the 4. This caution is what they needed to fix the car. But I don't know if they'll fire off in time. They will.
Oh, Cochran is back out on the racetrack, actually, so no longer a DNF for the 88.
Just left as I was doing that sentence. Absolutely.
Just to spite us, right?
You know, an interesting play here, though. King just chose the high side for the first time tonight. Looking to work with Barnes, actually.
Yeah, I expect those two to be lockstep the entire rest of the way here. They got lucky last time, I think, that Pollock hung back so far on the restart and allowed both the 51 and 27 to slide in line. Both around the 17, of course, but they still were able to look it down to the bottom. I don't think Pollock's going to let him do that a second time.
So, as we get ready, Kane on the high side, then Robertson on the bottom, Barnes and Pollock, Jordan Cole, Gillen and Hunt, Holston, Romano, Vincent, Barnes are amongst the drivers setting up towards the front of this pack. 63 to go when we get back to racing. We'll say a plethora of Fords have migrated their way to the front here. And in iRacing, there's no major differences at all between the manufacturers, but the Fords themselves, interesting enough, are just able to get themselves the same position here, Morgan, late.
I do think there's a difference with the pushes on the nose of the cars.
Yes.
I do think that is different. As far as R&D work back at the shop that you see on Sundays in the real-world NASCAR, obviously that has no impact on what's happening in the sim. All the car manufacturers the same performance-wise, but I do think that little bit on the nose, the Chevys being pointed, the Fords being flat, the Toyotas being somewhere in the middle, absolutely does change how you can drive these cars a little bit in the draft.
Pace car's off, 63 to go. Green flag's out. Back on our way, and the outside does indeed get a good jump, but not a great one. Barnes not yet able to clear. Now will he clear?
Yeah,
yes.
They got it.
So those two now worked in sync up at the front. But now some of the other players that we talked about earlier, like Caleb Hunt, who's been quiet again all night, he's getting ahead. You know who's also gaining? The 6 is back after getting all the track position lost with damage repair. Hurst is now on the move in that green 6 you see on the high line.
The Black Diamond Motorsports car is starting to rise to the top as well. Robertson, Pollock, and Gillen all up there. Michael Kolak is an affiliate since all his other teammates have wrecked out of this one. But the strength is on the bottom.
indeed it is, but no one's really willing to dive to the bottom of the racetrack to join in and become a parade like earlier. Do you expect the drivers to try and blend down at this point, or do we see a stage 2 type of a run?
No, we're racing to the end. I don't know. I think what you want to do is you want to keep your track position the best you can for when we get to pit stops. You want to be part of the main pack so that if you do happen to have a bad pit stop, you don't lose the draft immediately, as if we were in a long line where there was 3 seconds between car 1 and the final car in the group. So you're going to do everything you can to keep track position because it's so hard to keep it. We got drivers almost wrecking back here. 2 and 3 wide below the apron. That's McCoy Benke. Great job not making that worse than it was. There goes the draft.
There it goes absolutely here for some drivers here as they try and step into the line. They're going to have to hope for some luck back here, in particular Benke. Up front. The hustle still on for the high line. Pollock has hooked up with the teammate, as you were talking about. I'm surprised this top 3's kept the buffer like they have, though, on the bottom.
Well, the reason is Gillen's trying to let his teammates in. Because the top 2 on the high side are Black Dam Motorsports cars. They want to get Cole down there as well. And if all 3 can clear, those 4 can make a run to the front. So Gillen just trying to do everything he can to drag the brake a little bit. Now they're going to launch the front, maybe get Gillen in front of the line. Maybe the 10 will move up here. No, they decide not to.
Yeah, that wasn't going to really work in terms of those line shuffles. Under 60 to go here at Daytona International Speedway. Looks like now Hunt zipping his way on through one of the Tier 1 Setup Shop sponsored cars in the field. Touched upon his abilities earlier. And right now his FLM machine now finding his way to the front at the right time, just about, to say the very least.
I was just going to mention him, how he hasn't really been, he's been under the radar, sort of trying to say, for really the whole race. Caught up in an accident or two. But here we are, up 11 spots late in the running, P6. He always seems to find his way near the front at the end of these races, and he knows what he's doing at super speedways. I can attest, as we said before, I think in the duels, he's a heck of a pusher on the last lap.
Yeah, here's the hustle for some of the drivers on that bottom line. That huge gap that was on the bottom, I think, has closed up just about. Gillen still is trying to back down pretty hard still. But the caution flag is out. Hearing multiple cars around us to the back of the group. That includes Michael Wade again. Isaac Brock is involved. And we're back under yellow.
I saw Winkfield was in it as well. Hurst right in front of these guys. Big checkup on the bottom. That's what this is going to be. Yeah, massive checkup. Turn Brock around. Oh, big hit for Brock. I don't think Wade got too bad of damage out of that one, but yeah, Brock hit that hard. Right behind Wilson. See the checkup coming. And then he just got popped from Hurst. Really nowhere to go for the 6 car. And I don't know if that's going to be dander for the 21, but it's definitely not going to help his chances. The car still runs. That's better than I expected out of that incident. So maybe he does still have a chance here.
Whoa! What is Winkfield and Kime doing? Winkfield just got squeezed in the wall with the 9 for some reason. And, well, Kime has a broken axle. I don't think he realizes.
Yeah, he's got a destroyed front of the car here. I don't even think that wheel's turning in the 9. Those two were fighting for the lucky dog. Neither of them are going to get it. In fact, it's probably going to go to Justin Miller to get back 1 lap down. You can see that the right front is bouncing a lot more than it should on the 9. Meatball flag as well.
Going to have to come on down. He is the only driver in the field right now with the meatball flag. Still outside the pit window to make it. Does anybody change it up? Yes, they do. A lot of the Black Diamond cars electing to top off this time.
Leads in most of the field. A lot of drivers still getting damage repaired, but I like this move to pit here. The reason why, you need less fuel for later. So you're always going to be on the front foot when it comes to how long you're in the box for.
So that difference is going to be about 13 laps with the caution flags here on the fuel tanks. Up front, it's King, Barnes, Jewett, Hunt, Vincent, Good, Romano, Davidson, Gillen, Holston. Going to be your top 10 here. Lucky Dog does indeed go to the Shady Acres machine. That is Justin Miller, who all race long has been pinned at least a couple down. Remember, he did not take the green. He missed the start.
Yeah, finally back to, he can see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, especially since Kime has that massive damage. And Wade also has pretty heavy damage. So Miller might just be in the catbird seat to get back the Lucky Dog a second time to get back on the lead lap. I want to go back to the fuel you were talking about there, JP. Looking at the math for this race, if we can go 40 from where we just pit, that gets us to 185. And if they're off by 13, that's essentially saving about a little less than half a can of fuel. That's a lot of time you could save on pit road. A couple seconds at the very least, maybe 4 seconds or so. That could be the difference between you coming off pit road first and you coming off pit road 15th.
Here we go to the choose this time through. And will King choose the top of the bottom? Answer is, he's got to make a decision.
Top side.
That took a little bit of time, and Barnes does choose the bottom. Wouldn't be surprised if King then files to the bottom here. Jewett and Hunt, the next row. And not too many differences with the lines on the lane choices this time. So as they go here, we're coming up to 55 laps to go. Interesting enough, Rayshon Wakefield, with those incidents, did in fact lose the lap back that he picked up on the Lucky Dog earlier, so his chances are going asunder here. But the front of the field, the contenders have established themselves. Who do you feel right now your very early pick to win it is?
Oh, geez, that's a great question. I mean, I have a hard time betting against Zachary King or Christian Barnes. I just have a really difficult time saying it won't be one of those two, and the reasons are very obvious. King won last night. Barnes won on Friday. I believe Barnes also won his duel on Thursday night, so these two know how to get it done this week. I don't know why that would stop today.
They'll plunder their way through 3. A lot of chatter tonight on the radio as these competitors continue to see a feisty night pop up. Majority of the field, as to be expected, is going to be on the bottom of the circuit. Several of the rookies going to line up inside the top 10. Those with stripes include Romano, include Vincent, and a couple of the others ready to see what happens. 54 to go. 54 laps to go this time through. And there goes the pace car. Here comes the green. And King gets a huge jump. Watch for the drop.
Yeah, there was no doubt what was going to happen there. I think everyone on the racetrack knew it. And everybody at home knew it as well. He's still got a massive lead here.
Restart is under review, just heard.
Oh, might have jumped the start. He definitely waited until after the start-finish line to move down, so that's not an car out of line. That's McCoy Benke.
Restart is good. No issues, says race control. So we continue to race on.
One of the rare times you see a driver go early in the zone at Daytona, not at the end of the zone.
But that one was intentional because it's a play, right, to control the lines.
Exactly right.
You're going to see Barnes move down if they chose the outside, or in this case, King move down and block off in front of Barnes so he's on the bumper.
Right. Yeah, the only driver who could have stopped that was Derek Jewett. If you would have launched early and pushed the 27 alongside, that was the only way that move was going to get stopped. And that's a risky play because you yourself could get a black flag.
So all of the bottom of the line drivers are starting to build momentum. The bottom seems to be comfortable. Bit of a bobble there for Amano. Thought he was going to snap up the racetrack for a second. Just felt like he got loose.
Oh, big block. A little further back. Pollock on Hurst. Getting racy, JP. Quarter this race to go, and drivers, they know it.
We're really seeing a few of the drivers keep the intensity level high. But how do you keep the right mindset? Because the mindset might go pass, 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 step, push, pass, 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 pass.
Yeah.
But how do you not do that exact thing? You're not a computer.
I mean, it's hard to. It's definitely difficult at this point in time. I think the blinders are on as far as we're in the race, especially if you're in the top 10. We're in a position where we can go win this thing. There's going to be one more pit stop. Just do everything you can to be in touch with the lead group after the pit stop. If you're there, once that pit stop is finished, you have a great shot to win the race. If you're out of touch after the pit stop, if we go green, you have no opportunity to win the race unless we get stacked back up. So you're racing to the pit stop essentially, and then hoping you did well enough these first 100+ laps to be able to put yourself in position to win the race.
50 to go at the stripe. Coming up to 50 laps to work with a pit stop still in hand. Of note, Isaac Wilson, who's working hard on that outside. He's one of the drivers who just topped off. He's the highest, in fact, on that strategy. How does that play out for Wilson here with more flexibility? In fact, the ability to, if he matches up with some of the errors, maybe take less fuel in the stop.
Yeah, Pollock also on that strategy, and I believe Hurst is as well. So that entire top lane. Oh, King went up to block it, and he missed.
That was close. King has to stay on the bottom. Here comes Isaac Wilson.
I think you're feeling good if you're on that high side because you have more fuel by a fair margin. We talked about that earlier, 13 laps, better on fuel. Shorter pit stops should we make it that far, and if it stays the way it is, you will inherit the lead once the bottom lane pits.
And right now, that outside line still looks to try and pull it down the suction for now. Again, the outside, usually the faster line, down the back straight away, the inside faster in the corners. That, at least for a long time, was the main barometer. Hasn't been the case tonight. Because, again, it's dead even in the corners, but it's super fast down the straightaways. With the numbers they've got, Wilson and Pollock, 1 and 2.
It really depends on drivers 2 and 3, how well driver 2 can push and how well driver 3 can stay locked to the back bumper of driver 2. That's what determines how fast that outside line is going to be. Because like you said, if you can get that push timed up, where you're getting it right here off the corner, look at the 6 just launch off the corner. I mean, you can make a lot of hay right here. Look at them go. Hurst will clear it easy.
Now the 6 is the leader for the first time tonight. Oh, he was saying on the radio, hey, why'd you leave me? Well, it worked out, didn't it? And now, the window to pit is 7 laps away. Here comes Romano's turn. Romano, he's got yet to lead so far. Caleb Hunt seems intent on helping the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse car as much as he can. The 98 has built respect all night, and now it's time to pounce.
Yeah, got in. We thought just barely, ended up being a little bit more comfortable than we thought in the duels, sliding across the start-finish line. Oh, he's going to get spun by Caleb Hunt way down the racetrack, and that's going to be back in front of the field. Oh, Christian Barnes is in it. Oh, that just killed the best car all day. Oh, my goodness.
Caution flag is out.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. He was trying to save it on the apron, but that didn't work out with the bump.
Wow, that just changed everything in this race. Here's the move. Just a late block by the 98. Hits the bump and right into the door of the 27. And Jewett's in it as well. So is the 04. Bunch of cars in it. Oh, man, that's a heartbreaker if you're Barnes. From his point of view.
Very lockstep to help out King try and make up for the loss last year. Barnes says, oh no.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. Oh, Jewett hit that wall hard. That's probably going to kill the right front. Let's ride on board in the car with the 45. Watch the steering wheel. Watch the hands.
He had no idea what was going to happen, obviously. Little lift, gets the gas, and then
yeah, that car's killed. Yikes. Yeah, bad block. It's hitting a bunch of cars in the middle of the field, and that, like I said, will change entirely how this race plays out. This gets you so close to making to the NJP, but you're still going to be just a couple laps short.
Looks like these drivers are going to try and stretch it, though. The entire field, outside of one car, Harold Tucker III is the only person in the field to not pit here.
Yeah, that is a bold strategy. I guess if everyone has to pit still, I mean, if we have cautions, you could theoretically stretch it to the end. But Tucker's 11 laps shy of everyone who just pit, so he would need a lot of cautions for that to happen. I don't know. That's difficult. I do want to give a little bit of support to the 98. While he obviously was the one who was the pinball in that situation, the cue ball, if you will, I have every doubt in my mind that he meant to rejoin the racetrack. I think he just hit a bump, it jumped the car sideways, and he was steered back at the racetrack. In that situation, you can't stop in time to make it back on the racetrack safely. So I don't want to pile on to the 98 here, because I don't believe that was in any way intentional, and I'm sure he feels awful about how that one played out, just racing for the lead, and it went wrong for a lot of drivers.
And Romano's giving apologies over the radio to the field from that one. And that completely switches the complexion of what has now turned into a wild end coming up. Well, we see top offs. Looks like yes, maybe. Harold Tucker's coming in this time. Is this an EOL penalty? Yeah,
That
this would be
should
an EOL.
Yeah, that's a bold strategy. I mean, unless you wanted to be at the back anyway, which is totally reasonable. But
Actually,
go ahead.
it might be a green flag penalty here.
I think it's just an end-of-line penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
Depends on the way the sim handles it.
True.
Because it is an entering pit road close penalty.
Yeah, I think, again, I'm quite confident that it's just end-of-line. But regardless, the reason why it is, if you pit on the first lap, the pit road's open, you come back a second time, no penalty. If you pit for the first time after pit road closes on that second lap, of course, that is a penalty because you entered a closed pit road. Weird way the rules work, but that is the way it is. So you could pit twice because effectively you are giving yourself a penalty anyway by pitting twice. So you won't keep your spot if you pit on the second lap and not the first one.
Aaron Shears is good. And now, Robertson's up front. Davidson second. Hunt, good. Hurst, Baum, Wilson, Cole, Pollock, and Holston. The two-car, who's been a lap down just about the entire day, is now inside the top 10, everybody.
Golf claps for Aaron Baum. I mean, that is a heck of a rebound.
I believe there's a button for that.
I don't have it.
Let's find out where this plays on the restart. Here they go. Robertson, Davidson, Hunt. What's the top four cars with good. 43 to go. Fuel, gonna be a concern for the field. Green, 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 back underway. And now the fuel save game is on.
Now drivers have to balance track position, fuel mileage. Which one's more important? And it's going to depend on who you are as a driver.
All the drivers line up to the bottom, a majority of at least. And they're already going in the 180s. They're not, a lot of those drivers are basically going half throttle down there. Some are saying, what's fuel when you can lead?
And leading sure feels good. Look at the outside run here. Baum and Michael Cole. Nose to tail. They're not saving any fuel here. Which is personally the route I would go. I think 5 is going to be too far to stretch it unless you get a lot of cautions. So I would be pushing as hard as I can right here to try and get the lead, take advantage of everyone else fuel saving, and then just let the cards fall where they may on the strategy at the end. Because if there's a caution that comes out, it works great for everybody. If not, at least you tried, and that's the hand you played.
All this is wow. It's going to be, for many of the drivers, going to be potentially on the mark. It's going to require a lot of save. Nobody, well, only a couple topped off specifically. Well, here's how it worked out for Harold Tucker, by the way. He lost the draft for that pit stop. He is not with any other cars except for Romano.
Who obviously got heavy damage from getting into the side of the 27, so that's probably not the best drafting partner you could have anyway at this point.
And right now, things at the back of the group seem like most of the field is keeping it pretty calm. I'm surprised Michael Wade is still with a good car. His car is on the lead lap. He's fixed all the damage.
He still has a chance, which is wild considering all of the incidents he's been a part of today his doing or not, the 5 still rolls, and that's good enough. He's also trying to tie the all-time wins record at Daytona with Reggie Kime. Kime's got 3. You mentioned it in the open. Kime's got 3. Wade has 2. If he win tonight, he would tie all-time.
It's going to require a lot of things to happen, though. It's going to require luck. It's going to require probably a rocket to the front to be able to jump all these cars. You're taking the 3 wide. Hunt is shuffled out. And Hunt will have to look for some friends towards the back of the field this time. There goes out the track position he had took all race to gain.
I wonder if he's worried about fuel here, because he voluntarily moved out of line and just went all the way up to the high side. So oh my goodness, they just about crashed in front of him. Hartzog and Cochran had a big moment right in front of Caleb Hunt.
That was a little bit sketchy, as most of the top line has indeed dissipated.
Hey, look who's back. Luke Barnes and a still lap down Rayshon Winkfield. No longer a lap down Rayshon Winkfield.
Now he's on the tail of the lead lap. Barnes couldn't clear, though. Nearly turned him. And it looks like Barnes will take the race lead. How heavily do you save the fuel here? We know how tight the window is. What are you doing to actually save? Because some are treating it like they can make it.
Yeah, if you're about the 4th car in line, say where the 17 or the 51 is, you can run half throttle somewhere in there and just coast, essentially, and save a boatload of fuel. If you're farther back, even less throttle required. You basically are just keeping up with the car in front of you, managing that gap, and that's it. But if you're up at the front, the first 2 rows or so, 2 or 3 rows, you're full throttle the whole time. You have to be, or else the entire line backs up. So that's really how you save fuel, as we are side drafting aggressively. John Ullman to the lead for all the incidents of the 34's been in today. He's still got a car that can roll here.
Yeah, Ullman has had to fix that car a couple times over tonight. Can he win in the Slim Chickens car in the first race of the season for the Slim Chickens backed series? It's been that type of an effort to get here in the first place, and he does have Jewett seeming like he's comfortable to push him here.
Yeah, and Jewett can't lead. With how bad the damage to the nose of that car is from the incident with the 98, he has to be second or worse in line, or else the entire lane's just going to drop like a rock. Barnes says topside looks fast right now. Pied Piper to the bottom. Does Baum have anything for your leader?
Yeah, right now oh no! Jewett was up the middle and Ullman came down. They start wrecking down the back. Caution flag is out. Fuel is good from here, but lots of cars pick up damage. I think that Ullman didn't realize Jewett was already there.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. He was following Baum because Baum was going to pick up his teammate, and Ullman just had no idea the 45 was there. Not sure how the 43 ended up all the way down at the wall, because he was right behind Hurst.
Yeah, Hurst went for a slide as well, keep in mind, so there's at least part of the factor. Then
He would have got hit from the 45 here, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think he hit anything. Oh, what a fantastic job to not hit that wall. Holy cow. Go one more time here, because that was a whale of a drive. Watch the wheel work here.
Driving. Bam.
You can see the RPMs. That was immaculate. Well done.
just missed it.
Yeah, like there was like, I don't know, maybe a tire width he could still go before he would have clobbered the inside wall. I mean, you saw him, work the wheel, work the throttle. He had to work over the bumps of the bus stop as well on the road course section of the racetrack. That was just unbelievable. Well done. Now, do we pit for fuel? I would imagine. No, we don't. Okay.
Really?
Back in the field, you have to. I mean, I guess you don't want to give a track position, and I can understand that. But if you're further back in the field, like you see everyone here, you have to pit here and just know that you can make it easily from here. But Barnes stays out.
Barnes, Robertson, Baum, Davidson. I am not sure how this will work out. Let's put it this way, if it goes to overtime, they are going to be very tight on gas up at the front here amongst your top 11. Top-offs for everybody who is in 12th, 13th, 14th. Every other car who just pit was in damage repair mode. I almost wonder if the thought is because of how difficult it is to pass, they're taking the gamble and hoping for more cautions.
That has to be what you're doing here. I still think you're going to be 2, maybe 3 laps short, even after this caution. So you need another one at the very least to even think about making it to the end of the race. So, yeah, I'm with you there. They have to be betting on more cautions.
Has to be. But Barnes, who started up at the front row, joined the pack. Baum. Impressive drive to get here after chugging along and staying out of trouble all day. As we come to 1 and shoes, though, lane choice gets interesting for the pack. Coming up to 33 laps to go.
And most of the major players we've seen for the majority of this race are gone. They're not here anymore. Barnes obviously still is in the 04, but really everybody else is a newcomer up at the front. You got to go back to Pollock in, what is that, 7th, 8th, to see a car that we kind of recognize up at the front.
Looks like first on the outside is the 17 again. And a majority of the order again to the bottom for safety. Whoa, that was a late choice by the last of the cars there. Nearly parallel parked it.
Yeah, Brett Rinn had to, I think, let Michael Cole go by before he could make that decision. Bit of a strange way for that to work, but worked out nonetheless. Michael, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Michael Cole had pretty heavy damage from that incident. Looks like he got it all fixed here, so I think the 43 is going to have a fresh enough car to work from the back. We saw him lead and push up at the front a lot over these last 60 or so laps. I think he still has a car capable of getting up here and fighting for the win.
So here we go. It's Barnes, Robertson, Baum, Davidson, Wilson, Good, Gillen, King, Pollock, Holston in your top 10. First to pit was Zachary King, and then it's Michael Wade in the order. Those Roberts for sure can make it on the gas tank. Everybody else is pushing it. So coming up to 32 to go in the Mystic 500 in what has been a dramatic opening to the season. We've seen attrition rise up pretty aggressively. The caution periods you see there starting to build up also over the course of the run. 10 cautions, 30 lead changes tonight. That includes stage cautions, keep in mind, so it's about 7 for cause. Green flag is out, 32 to go. We're back on our way with Barnes holding firm with Robertson now going to the bottom.
Bottom lane again gets that great jump. Zach Davidson for the first time today going to find himself leading the top lane here up at the front of the field. Zero help behind him. Clayton Good leaving at least a car length.
Caution. Caution flags back out. And where was this? Race control says accidental caution will reset the field.
Well, now, if you're one of the drivers who just pit, you are furious right now because you just bailed out all the drivers who stayed out. They now have a really, really solid shot at making it to the end of this race. That is a kick in the teeth for all the drivers who sit pit road.
Well, something happens sometimes where you accidentally drop the flag for the flag stand or press the wrong button. That was the case here. As we will be restarting with under 30 to go.
You just hate it when it happens in a critical situation like this. That's the part I think that's frustrating is if this happens, say, lap 30 of the race, middle of stage 1, we're just kind of, seeing what everyone's got. No harm, no foul, but 30 to go in a race that drivers have been here for just over 3 hours, and you may have just had your hopes dashed because of a caution that wasn't supposed to be thrown. That's just a difficult pill to swallow. But regardless, this is where the mentally resilient will rise because you just have to reset, put it behind you. It happened. There's no fixing it. You got to buckle up and get it done here.
Lucky dog, by the way, Justin Miller. So Miller gets himself a big break here that believe will put the 95 on the lead lap here. They are 1 lap down.
They are on the lead lap, yes. Or they will be.
Finally, Miller is on the lead lap.
And the good job of keeping that car clean. Obviously had that one incident up against the outside wall. Can't remember who it was with. I think it was David Wallace on the front stretch in the tri-oval. Really the only incident I've seen the 95 be involved in that I can recall. Clearly that car still running well, has very little damage from what I can see. So he has a legitimate shot here with 30 to go to be able to at least contend for a win here.
It's going to require a lot of passes, but it's doable.
In the realm of possibility.
Yep, 1 to green. Next time by the way. So the first those at Upit, remember, are still king. Wade actually up in the top 10 with the scoring loops as well for when we choose the choose. When you take the 1 and choose, do you change up the play now that you pick up a spot with the result of the caution, or do you just stay to your strategy?
That's a great question. And I don't have a good answer for you. I think that you have to know who you're around. With Aaron Baum in 3rd, Zach Davidson in 4th. I don't think they're going to do anything to foil your plan. I don't think they're going to launch early and push the car on the inside to try and make it so that you can't launch at the same time or anything like that. So you could probably run your strategy back. Or if you wanted to just try something fresh, switch it up. But again, we might have more cautions here, so don't use all the tricks just yet. Maybe you repeat this one until it doesn't work, and then try something new.
So the choose is coming up here. It's Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Ford, Ford, Toyota, Ford, Ford, Chevy, Chevy. Once your top 11 in this pack. And I know we said a lot of Chevys were in the field, Morgan, but a lot of those Chevys are no longer in track position mode. They're in trying to get it back mode.
Yeah, I think the pointy noses did not help today.
Choosing. And was that a close call for somebody there? Might have been Zach Davidson close. I think he was safe.
Would not be the first time this week we've seen Zach Davidson have a choose violation. Last time was while leading in the Truck Series. I'm sure he loves that I bring that up, but nonetheless, these are facts, so...
So now, look to go to see if we can get to the end. 28 to go at the stripe. 28 laps to battle it out for Barnes and Baum, Robertson and Davidson. Amongst your top 4 drivers here. And here comes the question here. We've seen 2 wide be the norm here. Does somebody, anybody, try and get a third line to work here, or does the side draft effect just destroy that?
The third lane works if the momentum comes from the very top. Then it will work. But if you're trying to force it up the middle, it only works for about half a lap before the side draft from both cars will just kill the momentum. So if you're in the middle lane and you decide, I need to go to the top side to gain some spots, that can work because you're only side drafted on one side. It's the left, obviously. But if you're trying to dive to the middle to make a run, it is so very difficult. Unless you only need one car to pass, then you might be able to squeeze in line and make it all work.
So the field being told to keep it smooth and smart to decide this race. Miles are ticking away. Mystic 500 in its final stretch. The green flag is out. Barnes is off and away. Luke Barnes gets well ahead of the field again. And will that set up the inside line to ditch him? No, it looks like the 17 is committed to him.
Something happened to 79. That whole outside lane behind him did not go.
Here they go on the outside now with the outside building up runs. Zach Davidson to the bump. Palm now gets himself even. The 2 has already led 1 lap tonight. Looking to add to that count here. Now the outside has to back down. Davidson trying to find a hole.
That's not going to happen in front of Gillen. Pollock making sure it's not behind him either. Back to the push. Back bumper of Baum as the top side starting to fall away here. How about Michael Wade? Still in this race. P11 for the 5.
Now the 5 trying to make some inroads fast. Remember, we just talked about him in the 20s. He's taken a lot of hard hits tonight, and Wade now pushes King. Talk about pushing the pusher, that's a little nerve-wracking. 3 wide to the back of the lead group for a moment as Hurst moves to the bottom.
Every move you make from here on out has to be calculated and has to be the right move. If you make a misstep here, it might take you 30 laps to make it back. We've got less than 30 to go.
Field getting very edgy here. Outside dying off for now. He's several drivers scattering amongst it. Ullman from the EOL penalty amongst those still in the race with some damage too. He already picked up a strike from that incident, so he's going to have to play careful.
You can tell who really wants to go further back in the field because they're on the bumper of the driver in front of them. There's nowhere to go right now. You have to bide your time for something to happen. You could attempt to go to the top lane like we're talking about earlier, and maybe there'll be something there, but there's no guarantee that'll work because no one's tried it all day.
All of them stay in a nervous pattern here. Coming to 24 to go. At this point, who do you expect to make this big charge? Well,
King.
I just say that.
Yeah, it's always going to be Zachary King. That is the top of the list if you're looking for an aggressive move. Unfortunately, that time had no help. I don't think he's going to get back in line either. That's the risk. Should be able to slide in front of Brock. No, Brock closes the door. So they're still 3 wide.
Oh, near contact for King. Ullman's next to him.
So is Rin.
Oh, and Ren's nowhere close to the yellow line there in 2. King got very lucky there. He didn't get squeezed.
You know, Knopfschneider, I thought Knopfschneider looked 3 wide, decided against it. King's still going 3 wide here.
Yeah, he is the only one willing to try it, and this is going to cause a lot of side draft. That middle line seems pretty solid despite it, though. Look, some people are trying to join in, and never mind, there's contact on the 4.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult from the back of the field to get wound up enough to make it work. Because you're going to need somebody in the middle of the field to go 3 wide, and then you kind of catch up to them. It's just going to be so difficult to do it from where he is right now.
$22 to go when we get to the stripe. Work is on for Pollock. Now to retake the track position. Remember, Alex Pollock led laps earlier on tonight. Now he's got a teammate in front. Now has Isaac Wilson in front. They all ditched the Toyota on the inside. The 17, the 93, the 92 all jump up. And now the teammates are 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 4 with Baum trying to jump in.
And that was a big block that 17 just threw on Wilson. With Wilson below the line. Worked out for him that time. Baum goes to the outside. He's not content there.
Yeah, now gets immediately squished out. But the 17 of Robertson looking to have a stellar debut here tonight in the Cup Series. Look at some of the drivers in the heart of the field. That includes drivers like Cole, who remember went for the wild ride down the back straightaway. That C4 racing car seems like it's checking up a fair bit. No place for him to go except ride the wave.
That's right. Drivers in the middle of the field right now are just, again, biding their time, hoping that something breaks their way where they can maybe gain a spot or two with a checkup or something like that, hoping the other line has a problem, but there's really nothing you can do. Oh, car's in the wall. Brett Rin's in it.
No caution yet. No caution. No caution.
Rin
We
and
stay
Hartzog.
green. They're still wrecking. And we will stay green for a 2-car incident.
So Rin is the last car on the bottom. Hartzog to his outside, the 4 with the yellow stripes. Right behind Zach King. Yeah, just a case of, I think, Hartzog expected Rin to go farther down. Rin expected Hartzog to go farther up, and they both collided in the middle.
So we stay green as a couple contenders are out. And now as we work with under 20 to go. Pressure is on. We just had the 4 stop on pit road. They've towed. All of this is with Davidson on the push on the outside. But teammates are going to be difficult to break up, Morgan. What do you do to split up these top 3 on the bottom?
Side draft aggressively and hope you can get in front of them. I think that's going to be the only way. Because they're not going to just let you in. You have to be able to force their hand. The Baum has his work cut out for him for sure to be able to get up there for 1 and split him up for 2.
Baum has good straight line speed after all those repairs. Oh, look at Cole. He's got you-know-who, Jacob Cochran, 3 wide. They are willing to be bold, and now they're both in the wall.
Yeah, that line got blocked by Baum and Davidson. They blocked the run into the corner. They're still 3 wide. I think they're going to persist for a while. Although they fade, the C4 cars on the top, they're fading quickly, but Zach King says, I'll be part of it.
Oh, Cochran again slaps
There,
the wall, and
there
now
goes
a wrecking.
King. Oh, that's a day ender for King.
Zachary Kane, one of the contenders all day, looking to try and repeat magic from last year. Well, the wishing well just ran out of water.
I didn't quite see what caused it. I don't know if it was a checkup or a bump. A Brock to the inside here. Cochran right in front of him. Ullman got him. Yeah, Ullman tagged him and turned him.
So that hard lick will see Zachary Kane hope for a caution flag here. He's staying on the racetrack for now. But we still continue. Lead group down to 18. Ullman, Jewett, and Miller have all lost touch of the main group at the worst possible time. They'll need a caution to have a chance, but the teammates still are hard to break. Here comes Winkfield on the outside, 3 wide. Winkfield's turn to try, and he's found some help coming from Isaac Brock, as well as the C4 cars. They're right behind your leaders.
Trying to make the outside lane work. Bomb's thinking about it. You can tell he wants to get up there. Middle lane checked up. And fade back in line.
They're trying to do something, anything to gain track position here. We talked, well, tempers are flaring again about holding lines here as Harold Tucker III gets shuffled out with it.
07 was down below the, oh my goodness. Harold Tucker III just about got Michael Cole in the door, trying to pull it off the wall. And we're catching a lap car too. That's Romano, the 98.
Now there he is, an old boy on the radio. Drivers are saying go high. Lap car going high, way high. Romano tries to hug the high groove. No one has any troubles this time. It's been a little bit of roulette with that tonight, but the 43 is again shooting high side, but no one helping this time. Well, now does have Cochran. Eventually it's going to work. They just have to stop knocking the wall down and driving like there's no safer barrier.
Yeah, it's difficult when you get squeezed from the middle lane. I mean, they're doing everything they can to side draft and slow it down. And there just isn't enough room on the racetrack to not hit the wall sometimes. Really what they need is the car in front of them, or a car in front of them, to establish the high lane, and then they can suck up to it, and then the whole lane benefits from it. If it's trying to start from the last 2 cars in line, it's going to be very difficult unless they can get a monster run. But also 21 with the damage, that is not the car to lead the line either. Isaac Brock, heavy nose damage. That will not help by any stretch.
Not whatsoever with 13 laps to go. 17 continues to march ahead. They're now at 32 laps on the fuel marks, by the way. Barnes, though, he drifts up high, and look at that. The Toyota trying to get back up front. Luke Barnes on the pole.
I'd be nervous if I was Robertson, and Baum for that matter, for leading all these laps when you were already tight on fuel. The first driver who I think, who we know for sure can make it is Michael Wade in 5th. All the drivers in front of him, they're on that. Oh, wow. King on the bottom here. That is bold. Driver's able to make it around him somehow.
Here we go. Wreck in the field. 43 is up the racetrack. Around goes Harold Tucker III. Wade's in it. In the wall goes Hunt. No caution yet. They're still spinning. We're still green. We are still green.
Again, there's the checkup they needed. I don't know if Cole realized they were going to be 3+ wide, and he tried to fill the hole. Just was not a spot there. Oh, caught Winkfield in a big way. Yeah, a lot of drivers involved in that one. And that was just a not clear move. That's what that was. Curious about no caution, certainly. There was at least 6 cars in that one.
I was going to say.
Well, now the pack is, it's dwindled, certainly. We got here 10 in the pack, 11 in the pack, 10.
10. Coming to 10 to go next time through. Robertson up front. Look at this. It's 5 on the inside, 5 on the outside, and they have Harold Tucker III in front of them.
Now, what do you do here?
This is going to get wild at the end. Here we go. Last lap's coming up here. Lap traffic stays up to the high side.
Seems like race control had an issue with connection to the session. That's why there was no caution. Unfortunate time for that. As we single file out almost for the entire top 10.
So that can make it interesting to close it out, will it? The entire field's gone single file in the main group. So as we come up to 9 laps to go, where do you go for the move? How do you try and win this? And better yet, do you ditch your teammate for the win?
I think you ditch your teammate for the win off of turn 4. I don't think you make a move before that because you've worked so well together. It doesn't make sense to leave them. You got the first 3 spots here. You might, or maybe you're just content to just roll with it. I mean, maybe you split the 250 3 ways. Who knows?
I mean, I know there are groups in the money scene. In terms of the big races, they'll absolutely do that. And then they send the payment back and forth between the PayPal side. So it is something that they will do here.
But the one driver I think in this group who will try and have a say in that is going to be Luke Barnes. Been fast all weekend and all the series. We know he can drive these races very well. Caution's out.
Now
Michael
the
Wade.
yellow.
Oh my.
Oh, he took a jump.
He did. Oh, they're still spinning.
Well, this changes everything. These incidents change everything.
Yeah, what happened here? Just not clear. Oh, right in front of Michael Cole, too. Wrong place, wrong time. I think the admins are going to be busy after this one with some of these cautions.
Yes. And this saves a lot of drivers' chances, but it adds a lot more pressure for Robertson to hold on in front.
Who didn't want to see this was the entire top 10. They had that is what you dream of. Coming to the end of this race is only 10 cars to deal with. The runs are going to be slow. You're going to be able to see where everybody is. Now, you just added 11 of your closest friends to your 10-car party. You got 21 to deal with now.
So, cause of caution, Michael Wade. Michael Wade's everywhere. Oh my goodness, I think he nearly ran into some car stack there.
5. I think he's definitely got heavy suspension damage. Yeah, that car's dog tracking. Not great.
Roman Amunsto's topping off here. 38 laps. This is going to be the longest anybody's really got a chance to run coming up here when we get back going here. If this was a normal run, you'd be at about 0.8 of a gallon right now. But obviously a lot of cautions to save. green-white checkers, I think, are going to be iffy here coming up here, especially with an unlimited green-white checkers. They can't make all 15, obviously.
Well, nobody can make all 15. Well, other than maybe if the drivers should just pit Devin Curl on pit road. He could make all 15 from here. I don't believe anyone else could make more than 2 or 3. Even the drivers who pit, like Isaac Brock, I don't think they could make more than 2 or 3 green-white checkers. Just the way that we have to pace and how many laps there are, it's going to be, it's tight on fuel for a lot of the field here.
So 6 to go, coming up. So, by the way, time of the caution flag is perfect here. A fan of Black Diamond Motorsports. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're Alex Pollock, this is your dream.
Quick, somebody get the pic. Someone get the camera.
I mean, it absolutely makes a statement because I think for Pollock and for Wilson in particular, they're going to be contenders in races all season long, Morgan.
Right.
Gillen's been huge tonight on the Super Speedway. And then you have the 17 join on into the fun and immediately make a statement with especially the later third of this race.
I think here you go 2 top, 2 bottom if you're Black Diamond Motorsports.
They're going all 4 bottom.
Good work. They get to control the restart as well, so that's also the good news. As most drivers choose the bottom of the racetrack, topside's a pretty lonely place.
Wells, 79 and 5. By the way, with this caution period, both of the C4 cars that have been trying so hard on the outside are amongst those with the heavy repairs still going to lose laps here.
Yeah,
But
Cole is done with the meatball flag, so that's it for the 43. Cochran's still on and off pit road, 3 laps down. Likely not going to go the right way here for the C4 Racing guys. 36 races.
Luke Barnes, though, is the first to choose the outside. Here's the trouble spot. Technical issues for Holston all race.
That's right.
Do you trust him to push you?
Not particularly, no. You just hope that the internet holds out long enough to get you clear of the 17. You drop down and just forget the tops that ever existed. And that's your route to winning here.
And then there's everybody else here, too. How dramatic do you take this? When do you pull the pin to, say, a 3 wide for the win? Especially knowing the 48 just did that.
As soon as we drop the green. Yeah, the time for being calculated and waiting, it's over. You have to go now because the runs take so long to develop that you have to push for everything it's worth as soon as that green flag drops because you might not get another chance in these final 5 laps.
5 to go in the 2026 edition of the Mystic 500. Robertson, Barnes, front row. Luke Barnes looking to break through. Same for Robertson on season debut. We're underway with 5 to go. Teammates lined up on the bottom in the first 4 spots down there, but they're still separated out. Holston actually filled a hole for one of them.
Here comes Davidson.
Now this is going to be tough for that outside to build the momentum. They've lost a few car lengths in terms of distance. 4 car tandem on the high groove. Now 5, 6
spot.
into the go.
Around. How did he save
caution.
that? Oh my goodness.
We stay green. Carl lost a lot of ground on the checkup, but we continue to race it out. 4 laps to go from Daytona. They're starting to door bang a bit. Now they're trying to side drop from the inside line to pull back the outside.
Got along to the second car without help. Side draft, very powerful. They're still dooring each other.
All leaning on each other. Wilson nearly got turned by Luke Barnes. Here comes Davidson on the reset with that. Under 3.5 laps to go. Barnes straight to the quarter panel. Can't pull back the 93.
You're also going to have to time the pushes here with the temperatures because you can't go 4 laps locked onto somebody's rear bumper without blowing up.
And right now, Davidson isn't even lockstep for a quarter of the lap, Morgan.
Pollock has been right on the back bumper of Robertson. That's the one I'm worried about, is if Pollock has to back off, that could give the outside lane the shot they need on the final couple laps.
Here comes the triple car tandem again. They get aside the 93. Pollock stays on the bottom. No block-offs yet. Now the 17 flares up to block 2 lanes at once. Robertson trying to hold it back, but Barnes gets to the door. Gets to the number. Gets almost ahead for the lead, but it's side by side with 2 laps to go.
This is the closest he's been yet. He has the great opportunity here. They're going to get the run off the backstretch. When they get to turn 2, can the top lane pull ahead?
Luke Barnes started off the week winning the Caswell Glass Company Outside Pole Award.
Oh, he got a spin behind him. Holston's around, but he's got the spot.
No caution, we race it out. Up front, Luke Barnes trying to hold back Davidson. Here he goes to the outside. Hard contact to the door. Davidson to the point. Now a shove from Brock. Coming up to the white flag this time by. It's a race to the checkered. If they take the white, Clayton Good on the bumper of Davidson. 4 wide behind him.
Melee of cars around this racetrack. It's a 3-car battle at the moment. Here comes Robertson. Look at the run for the 17. He's going to get blocked to the wall. 4 wide almost as we go down the backstretch.
Good gets the run to the outside with Barnes. Huge jump ahead. Block off and a crash. Robertson jumps in front. But is he too far ahead? Another crash as Davidson comes up. The 2's in the wall. Jewett along with Hurst building the momentum. A block to the outside for Robertson. To the inside goes Jewett. Robertson cuts off the lanes. Side by side, 3 and 4 wide for second. It's Robertson, who is $250 richer. Charles Robertson wins the Mystic 500.
Unbelievable finish, JP.
All results unofficial, keep in mind. But what a finish. The top 3 pushed ahead far, and Robertson capitalizes with a contact for the 2 cars in front of him to the apron.
And unofficially, Robertson, Miller, and Vincent, your top 3 after a wild 200 laps.
Where did Miller come from and all that?
It all started, Pollock blew the motor. The 92 blew up, just like we were talking about, pushed too hard. But I think they'll say it was worth it.
Into victory lane, Black Diamond Design
Got it
Motorsports.
stuck. Oh no.
There he goes. Burnout time for car 17. Welcome to the Mystic Racing League for Robertson. I'm just speechless in terms of that run, Morgan. This field having a wild finish here tonight. Robertson had to hold off the crowd 3 times over through 3 and 4. It is unofficially his race over Miller, who was 3 laps down just about the entire night. Vincent gets on the podium unofficially. Wilson and Jewett, Hurst, Winkfield, Banky, Baum, and Hunt in the top 10. Keep in mind, the top 8 were within 4/10, Morgan.
Yeah, it was a close finish, certainly, and came right down to the wire. Finishing 11th, Knopfschneider. Where did that come from? Didn't really talk about him all day. I thought he got wrecked later in the race, ends up finishing 11th. Great run for him. Curl had a rough night, finishes in 12th. What a rebound. Holston caught up with the blown engine of the 92, will finish 13th. Ullman in 14th, hit everything but the pace car tonight. Luke Barnes had a great shot at it, got shuffled out and spun. He'll finish in 15th spot. Gillen in 16th, good in the 17th position, led on the final lap, caught up with Barnes, of course. Davidson got shuffled out of line, 18th. Michael Wade in 19th. Isaac Brock rounds out your top 20.
21st went to Tucker with Kane in 22nd, Pollock 23rd, White and Romano in the top 25. Lap down Card started 22nd. Cochran was down there as well, 3 laps down. Cole 27th, 8 down. 20 down for Hartzog. Wren finished 29 laps down, 29th, and Christian Barnes finished 30th.
Reggie Kime finishes 31st here. Cross in 32nd. Hood 33rd. David Wallace and White 34th and 35th. Brumley in the 36th spot. Craig 37th. Hinson left way early in 38th. And Brad Nelson before him rounds out the field in the 39th spot.
Let's look top to bottom at the running order here tonight in a stunning one for the Mystic 500. And our drivers are already standing on by. We'll start things off third place, go up to the first spot. Lauren Vincent is the first driver to speak with. Lauren, how are you feeling about this one? You get on the podium after the wildest runs you can have to the checkered flag.
Oh, that feels amazing. That was a dang good race. I really thought I was gonna get 5th out of that till I heard tires screeching to my right, and I'm in shock. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What was kind of your thought process for the final 5 laps in the first place there?
I was running the bottom the whole time. Then I knew once 5 to go happened, I needed to go with the line that had the most momentum, and that was the high side at that point. And then after that, it was just dodging, weaving in and out of traffic. It was, oh, this feels good.
So, think of this full season complexion here. You start with a bang. How do you feel about your speed from this point forward if you're running more Mystic Cup Series racing?
I'm hoping to make every race with Mystic. Rookie season, first start, top 3. I mean, can't wish for anything better than that, especially with all the sponsorships on the car and everything. But I'm hoping to carry the momentum and the speed throughout the rest of the season and keep grinding out top 5s, top 10s.
Any shout you'd like to give here tonight?
I know Royalty Motorsports is sitting in their own Discord channel watching. Thanks, guys, for having me a part of this team. McAfee's Auto Garage for being the main sponsor for this ride. And all the other sponsors with Royalty, SM Products, Majestic Promotional, and Apparel. Just all the sponsorships, thank you.
Congratulations on the podium tonight, Lauren.
Thank you.
Lauren Vincent, able to survive the last lap to get to third, but you know who got the second. Start of the race, missing the start, fell laps down, was laps down most of the way, got on the lead lap with, 30 laps to go? And Justin Miller's with Morgan Cook to talk about how he just got second out of that.
Justin, it's JP Morgan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely do, buddy.
We mentioned you a few times, but they weren't for the right reasons. Like JP said in the lead up, you missed the start. You were laps down for most of the race, multiple laps down for a lot of it. You got the lucky dog. You lost the lead lap. You got it back again. And all of a sudden, when drivers started crashing, you weren't one of them, and you end up in second spot. Just talk me through your day today. What a wild one over the last almost 4 hours.
Man, I have no clue on how that happened. I just got hooked up with the right group there at the end to get us in a position to win. I thought me and Brett were gonna get up there in time, and then I guess him and Jewett got together there at the line, and they wrecked down, and I got second place. Man, I'm just lost for words. I can't thank my sponsors enough. Shady Acres, Rob's for the badass wraps. Just everybody on this car. I'm just so glad. I'm just in like uh, this is a win to me.
Well, P2 here, you got your first podium in the series. Do you plan on running more races in the series throughout the year?
Yes. I'm full time in Cup and Xfinity.
Right on.
Yep.
What do you envision for the rest of the year? Strong run to start it out. Are we going to see this 95 car knocking on the door for wins all season long?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to be there at the end at every race. I told myself at the beginning, I know I missed a start. It was a bonehead move, and then the game did a glitch. But I knew I'll come back, and we're eventually going to get a win this season, and I'm excited.
All right, that's Justin Miller, second position. What a great way to start the season. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
I think JP's got up with our winner.
Yes, indeed. Coming away with the top prize, $250 in a win in the Mystic 500, Charles Robertson. Charles, how does it feel to win the Mystic 500?
No, it's kind of, I won't say I lucked out, but I had some good teammates there that helped me throughout the race. I kind of got caught up in like 2 wrecks there, so it seems like most of the race I was just trying to play catch up. But yeah, it's pretty cool to win that much money. I ain't really won no $200 or 250 in a race for, so it's pretty cool.
Talk to us about the coordination throughout the night with you and your teammates, because at one point we're nearly on the wreck, or the front bumper completely destroyed. Talk us about the resilience to be able to join up with your teammates late to be able to control this one towards the final laps.
Yeah, we just kind of just found each other at the end. Like you said, was in a bad wreck, and it's kind of hard to stay out of wrecks here and have everything go your way. But like I said, I had some good teammates. Everybody at Black Diamond Motorsports and Black Diamond Designs. I appreciate all them, and Isaac, Alex, everybody. It was definitely a good teamwork there at the end.
So with that in mind here, now that you start off with a bang, start off with a win, what's the plan now for the rest of the season, especially with Phoenix coming up in just a few days?
No, just try to get top tens. I'm not really expecting to win. I haven't raced with a lot of these guys. Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit in preseason, but it's just one of those deals where you got to wait to 8, 9 races into the season to see where I'm at.
Well, on that note, anyone you want to give a shout out to a part of this winning effort today, Charles?
Yeah, everybody at Black Diamond Motorsports and my teammates. They definitely helped me out there then.
Well, on that note, strong race tonight, strong performance, and a big-time win. Congratulations tonight on the win, Charles.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was fun.
Charles Robinson gets the win here today. He joins history in the Mystic 500. He joins the previous winners, Brett Wren, Reggie Kime, and Michael Wade in the history books. Morgan, that just about closes things out here tonight. How do you feel about this one? Your final thoughts from Daytona.
I mean, what a thriller this race was. Started off a little slow, bit of a slow burn there for the first 50 or so laps. And then we just started seeing strategy. We started to see some wild racing in stage 2. The cars we thought were going to dominate the race got wrecked out. They're things not of their doing. And then we got a surprise winner at the end, a surprise top 3 entirely, and with a great last couple laps scramble at the end. I mean, it's basically Daytona in a bottle. There's not much more you can ask for.
So with that being said, it's just about time to say goodbye for tonight's coverage of the Slim Chickens NASCAR Cup Series powered by Tier 1 Setup Shop and the Mystic Racing League. The next time out for the drivers, remember, we'll be racing at Phoenix. That will be February the 6th. Be sure to tune in here on V-Speed. But until that time, for Dougie Beard, for Morgan Cook, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching the 2026 edition of the Mystic 500. Congratulations once again to Charles Robertson, your winner from Daytona.